God damn. God, I'm excited. I am so excited for Spider-Verse, boys. How's everybody doing tonight? Looks like we got a crowd coming in. Appreciate everyone tuning in. We got a pretty good show for you tonight. Yo, Monty is a fatty. Thanks for the follow, my dude. But yeah, guys, this we're taking a little bit of a different step with the Atlantic Stockyard. So it's not really the Atlantic Stockyard tonight. It is the Roundtable, the Atlantic Roundtable. We got my boy Sherlock from NB. We got Cal from PEI. We got Vault from Nova Scotia. And we got Jack from Newfoundland. We got all the main TOs for Ultimate. It's going to be pretty exciting. They're going to be joining us here in just a moment. They're kind of just waiting for me. But yeah, so we're going to get everyone in here and get the gang going. So
for it. I'm super down for it.
Yo, what's up, boys?
Right.
I probably should have given you a warning.
Oh, yeah, everybody. Okay.
On your best behavior.
On your best behavior. All right. I also I forgot to mention too. We got Max joining Cal in PEI.
Yes. Max is my assistant for my. I don't know if most people know this. I do have a learning disability. My memory is not great, except for like very weird like song lyrics. I can get song lyrics because there's music attached to it, but if it's like, hey, what happened? What did you eat yesterday? I'm like,
notable. I also have a learning disability. It's just
different angle here.
We complete the yin yang shit.
Yeah, I can definitely operate the controls, but definitely. Oh, what's going on, Jack?
I'm
see you,
asleep
homie.
at the wheel. Oh,
my
Jack!
goodness.
Hey, how are you doing? Are you dead?
Oh yeah, Jack was in the hospital. How's your heart, dude? I saw that. I saw your pulse on a picture one time.
The Drimbus train never stops, baby. It just keeps on.
Does not
surviving. Thank God. There's a chance that was not the case.
Well,
driving's a strong word. Might be out Friday, like next Friday. Damn. They really got your ass.
I'm on the Android Roundtable. No, I'm on the Atlantic.
the Android, damn, dude.
Atlantic. That's just what autocorrect put in.
You're all fucking bots.
That's funny. But hopefully you guys can hear everybody no problem. Kind of just go kind of left to right on who is who. So on my left, we got up at the top left-hand corner, we got Jack.
Let's go, Jack.
Hey, Jack. What's going on, man?
Savior of Newfoundland.
What's up, man? How's everything going?
Yeah. So, Jack, why don't you give us a quick introduction of yourself, who you are, what you do, and
yeah, I would call myself the head TO for everything in Newfoundland, really, because we're kind of one team for Melee and Ultimate, and all of our events are just at the same thing. I know for a lot of your guys' provinces, it's like Ultimate tournaments, Melee tournaments sometimes, but we're just one team. So I got a good team of like 6-7 main TOs. We got a lot of volunteers, but I guess in terms of the bookings, I'm the one who does it, so I guess I'm up front. But yeah, I run Ultimate, I run Melee. We got a good group of guys, and I'm representative today.
Hey,
Let's
awesome.
go.
Appreciate you coming on tonight, Jack. Super appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, no worries. So to my top right, we got two fine gentlemen here. We got Max, aka Count Relay, and Cal, our resident commentator, TO man.
Announces what day WrestleMania is.
Let's go! Let's go!
Yeah,
Don't keep me waiting, Cal.
We are the residents of the Paradise Island, the Island Devils.
Yeah, no, we do.
Where we're all turning into giant monsters and stuff, and then sometimes, most of the time, losing to Midnights. But you know what? Sometimes we got that guy. It's real close. The whole island versus Midnights. Every once in a while.
For like a real answer, we're both TOs.
Yeah.
But like, if you were to cut off who on PEI is actually TOs somewhere, it's me and Cal that get cut.
Yeah, pretty much.
You were mostly in charge of the stream, in charge of commentary, a lot of stuff for setup and teardown and transporting like consoles and TVs.
That sounds
Mostly
like
in charge
TO
of
stuff.
That is all very much so TO stuff. And I'm in charge of mostly brackets. I used to set up the Smash GG pages, but that's just Richie, so that job's gone. Sad. I do a lot of the player communication. I do like the events day to day and
Like history documentation.
Yeah,
I don't
I
like
keep track
write
of
it
the
down,
records.
but it's all up here. You've got it on off the dome as
History
Rick said.
documentation.
and I also do the events for the FGC during the weeklies. At the monthlies, Jose does them. But for the most part, I'm basically just actually running events as they come up. I do the other jobs, like signing people up, helping plan the events, helping time out the events, stuff like that, when Jose and Richie need help, but I'm never the one who's left in charge of that. We both sort of help with the whole spectrum. but
Yeah.
We're not... Jose and Richie would be here too.
Jose and Richie would be here if
Either of them. Richie doesn't come out to enough events. He's more works behind the scenes. Jose doesn't give a fuck what happens at events once he's there. He has never watched a Smash match, I'm pretty sure.
He's fine. He's fine.
I
He's
fuck.
been commentating in a year and a half, Cal.
He commentates Street Fighter.
I
do
fucking love.
whatever, Smash, Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, literally whatever I can get my hands on. I'm making it happen.
We're also too chatty, so we should let the other two introduce themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was gonna interject. I was gonna interject, boys.
Man.
No worries, but yeah, no, Cal, we appreciate you guys. You know, especially Cal, you on the mic. You're always, you're always holding it down at the big events. Half the time solo. I mean, now we've got Ian coming in and doing.
I know.
We've got Ian being the we'll call him the new Cal.
The new Cal.
Shucky, if you're not here for Jose's slander, you're not gonna like our comments very much for the rest of this stream.
Jose has gotten too many W's. He does not deserve
We need to
anymore.
bring him down a couple pegs.
Just a few.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
All right, so now to my bottom left, a dear friend of mine. Some may call him. You may have seen me and him clash heads. I insult him all the time, but
Yeah, same. It's
mutual.
a lovely relationship.
Very much so. We've got the man, the myth himself. We got Sherlock.
Hi. I'm Eric. I've been TOing for maybe, 3 years? 4 now? Pre-pandemic for like maybe a year, and then during the pandemic, well, I can't count that, and then post-pandemic, we teamed up with Tomorrowland and UDM, and since then, all of our events have been with them, usually on campus, and it's been going great, really. It's a lot of fun. It's a big events. Like it's been a big boom for us in Moncton.
Been a big boom, I think, just across with the introduction
Yeah.
of like La Hub and stuff. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that in just a little bit.
Yeah. And
So
to answer K Cool's question, it's a cat. No, it's a dog. Well, I have a cat too. It's a dog.
So close. So
oh,
close.
come on, Eric. All right. Yeah. All right. And to my bottom right, we got. You guys may have seen him at KOH. He was the man hyping up top 8. The best MC Vault, the best Belmont player in AC right now. Give it.
Squidward's back. I don't know. We'll have to run it sometime.
Speed Mark Belmont.
But we got Vault, everybody. So take it away, Vault.
How's it going, guys? Yeah, I've been TOing now for probably a year. I really came on a lot stronger in the last 6 months or so, but I've been running the Halifax tournaments with Blue One and Adamant, and also this past year I ran tournaments out of my basement for a good year, so that was a lot of fun. But no, just love the community, so happy to be on here repping Nova Scotia.
Let's go.
Are these still happening?
No, actually, I ended up moving a month ago, and just at my new location, can't run them anymore. But I'm sure we'll figure something out in the future.
Yeah.
Okay.
Different vibe.
And just for context, Vault's basement was pretty big, enough to host like a good 12-man weekly.
Yeah, 10 to 12 every week. Yeah.
So
Because I remember your basement. I remember your basement results like where that's some players like Syed and Quizzic like rising over there when well
Yeah.
I didn't know them beforehand
Yeah.
but that's where
I'll
see
definitely touch on that a little later on, but it was definitely an interesting kind of experiment. See who kind of rose from those events, and then later on went on to do well at the weeklies. But yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah. So we got everybody here, and again, guys, I appreciate you guys taking the time coming out tonight. I think we're all here for kind of like one core concept, and that's to talk about our love of Smash and kind of what we've done for the communities over the last year. I mean, 2022. Well, I'm gonna be honest. It started out fucking shitty. it was absolutely shitty. We went in. I remember Eric and I. We went in at like the last end of 2021 with the original Holiday Bash. Jack had contacted me originally. This is how the original Holiday Bash came. Jack and the guys from Newfoundland contacted me. They're like, "Hey, we want to run a tournament, and we want to fly out the winner, give them a travel voucher to St. No John's 8 happening in January." I was like, "All right, Eric, I need a venue. Hook me up." Okay, Andy's down for it. All right, sweet. So we ended up doing that. They ended up throwing in some extra money too, and at the last 2 days before the event, we got hit with all the Omicron stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know,
We're gonna get into that for our end too. It completely wiped
so much.
PEI.
yeah. So that it completely killed the vibe of what was going to be a pretty good tournament. PEI, you guys weren't allowed to come off the island.
Nope.
No. We had 0 cases for the entirety of the first wave and the Delta wave. We spiked up to like a peak of 20. Then Omicron happened, and I believe at our peak we had 17,000.
Yeah, the entire.
They stopped announcing how many cases we had because it was making Islanders feel bad.
Yeah.
And they did that like a month before the wave was over.
It was pretty funny.
And all businesses on PEI had never experienced it before. Because again, at our peak before, we had 12 cases. We're gonna get into it later, but it completely destroyed any momentum we could get going anywhere.
Yeah, no, and that's what it did. We had we had this Holiday Bash like going to be like this big ass event, and tie it in to help promote St. No John's 8, which had a bunch of people from AC ready to attend, ready to come out,
ready to rock.
And I went to St. No John's 7. It was probably one of the best tournaments I ever been to. I had so much fun. My only regret of that one tournament, aside from getting reverse 3-0'd in top 8, was that I wasn't there sooner. My our flight originally, me, Mark, and Cole, our flight got delayed. We were supposed to essentially fly in and go out and hang out at the university with the gang, but that didn't end up happening. So I wanted to kind of go back again, and I was like, "Hey Mel, it's like my birthday weekend. Can I come? Gonna go?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And so myself, I know Sean Cena, Jacob Marr, a few guys from Nova Scotia. They were all trying to make the trip, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, guys, I don't think it's happening. You guys can't. Yeah, you guys can't. You guys can't even like. Second you land, you have to quarantine for like 2 weeks before going anywhere. So it just became a hassle, and and Jack, you can probably touch on it a little bit more in the chaos that
we had a lot of hype going into it. I think honestly delaying it until the end of the year made it for our end a better tournament. Like we ran it a lot better and it was more organized. But it sucked that it got canceled because we had so many people confirmed, and everyone was just really excited. But then our weeklies got canceled around Christmas last year, and it was just like, all right, there's no chance by the end of January we're gonna be able to have this happen.
No.
Yeah, getting from PEI to Newfoundland or vice versa is a real hassle.
Oh,
You gotta take like 6 hours on the ferry. It's annihilating you. But like we had players like seriously talking about it just because of how stacked it looked. And under literally any other circumstance, like it would have to be a real carrot on a stick to get any of these players to put 6 hours on a boat. Like that's yeah. We had to talk. It really sucks. It was a tournament that we were all looking forward to. At least we got to watch it while our power went out.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. No. But yeah, no, that was that was kind of the start of 2022 as a whole. Everything got canceled again. you know,
Yeah.
going into January, everybody had to make the hard calls to postpone stuff, to cancel. Like, I know we were in the process in NB, like we were in the process of getting all of our original big 3 weeklies back, right? We had La Hub going off all summer in 2021, and then I had gotten a new venue, new stuff set up for St. John. The guys in Fredericton had a venue all ready to go, and then bam, it just got canceled, just up like that. Everything got postponed by about, I want to say, like 6 weeks in total.
Yeah,
like it's kind of where they.
Our venues were awful. We were trying to get everything anywhere at any time. I knew places that were open. They're just like, nobody's using this place. Can we please just go in there? I'll give you $200. I don't care, please. And it was always just like, how many people, how much space, interest? I'm like, we're playing video games. We're not going to drink and party and destroy things. And they're like, too risky. Smash Bros, nah, not happening.
Every time we want to negotiate with a venue, we just send them Jose and see what happens. So like,
Jose would sometimes be like, they're too white for me. So go Cal, can you please? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
That's the dichotomy. But I remember at the very start of 2022, we were still looking for a monthly venue, which we will get into. But we were trying to book one for February. And by the end of February, things were starting to come down a little bit. People were kind of going back to regular life a little bit. Didn't really get like completely down until like March. But during February, we called up a bunch of rec centers in the Charlottetown area just to see if they would host us. And not even a single one of them would have a conversation with us. Like, they were just like, not until there's less cases, go away.
It was pretty bad.
It was pretty.
Also, hello to all the people in chat. We've got Theo, we've got Shucky, we've got Jack, Bongos on the wall, Boo 30, we got Fonz, PEI still in here.
Love you, Fonz.
Joe Star and Pillows. What's up? Good to see you, everybody.
Yeah. And Vault, just trying to include Nova Scotia in the discussion as well. Like,
yeah, Nova Scotia got hit. Oh my god.
Yeah. So what was unique about our situation was obviously, our cases got really, really bad. Really bad. But what was especially unique for our situation is that we were also dealing with our venue at Dalhousie. We have a classroom that we rent out for the year. Our tenure with that classroom or whatever ran out during that time too. So we had to go through the pain in the ass process of like contacting Dal and getting it renewed for the year and everything like that. So we actually didn't get back to tournaments till like late March. Like a lot of other provinces actually got back to tournaments before we did, and that was another reason why kind of the events at my place kind of started, is because there were so many people just like itching to play, and it's like I can't host everybody, but I can host some people every week, right? So but waiting on Dalhousie to get our room back kind of added another month or two onto the situation. But yeah, it was pretty dire for a while there.
Yeah, and I mean,
it wasn't very bad case-wise, but everything still got shut down.
Yeah, no.
We came back to weeklies like mid-March, and then then, the university had like limits on how many people we could have, and we had to do Vax Pass and stuff. So we got back, but it was like smaller for a bit.
Yeah,
but
100%.
we didn't get it hit too bad in terms of actual cases.
Yeah, I think for us.
So you guys are on campus too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're all on campus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We keep like
We
our
got
COTs
good at all our
stuff on
universities.
campus too.
All two of them.
I'll call it UPEI.
We try to PEI. We'll get to PEI.
We'll get there.
But we tried. We put in an honest effort with those boys.
Yeah, I remember Richie was
Richie didn't even have to deal with it. It was all Alex, but I was in like multiple Discords with Alex, so I had to listen to him bitch about it every single day. I love Alex. That's the homeboy, but God.
Oh my god. I was so jealous of Hallie and like NB of being like, oh, you could be university? It has plugs and chairs and tables, and I don't have to bring anything. Oh my god, that would be so amazing.
I don't know what the situation. I don't know what the situation with the university over in Newfoundland is, but like our room is completely paid for, so entry fees are super low. It just all goes towards the pot, so it's such a nice asset to have, like a venue that's so accommodating.
Yeah, we're pretty
I have that
similar.
now with yes.
Yeah.
Like we like maybe 2015 or 16, I think. The whoever was running it then got us like approved as an actual society. So I got the easy job now. We just keep the relations good. We get a room for free. They like working with us.
I got a small taste of when we were looking for another room. It was kind of up in the air if we'd get our room back. I was for a couple days looking for a new venue to host us, and trying to find something in downtown Halifax at the time was just crazy. Like we did find a church that had like a pretty big kind of gymnasium we could run it out of, but
Gospel smash.
yeah, yeah, the Belmont Main, get the Christianity going. But thank God that very same day or the day after, when I was about to be in serious talks with this church, we ended up getting our room back. So it worked out.
Okay, good.
Success.
Keith, is there any topic you wanted to switch to? I know you kind of cut you off.
Well, I was just going to add to the point there that you guys, that Vault was saying about like, you know, the venue costs and whatnot, and kind of, you know, with us, like in NB as well, like we're very fortunate as well that like all of our weeklies, none of the TOs pay out of pocket. This has been a thing that we've been able to accomplish for the last, you know, almost 10 years, really.
Yeah.
We've been very lucky that we have built the partnerships.
Well, except Theo, and poor Theo, my man's been putting like all of his like work money towards paying this crazy expensive venues.
The actual grind work that Theo's been doing, and
The Seaman Hospital.
I can't believe he's running events as the only man in Mirror Machine. I don't know who they're for.
Yeah, but no, I mean, for the most part, you know, for our active weeklies right now, you know, we're super fortunate, and we kind of have been that, you know, none of our events cost anything out of pocket in terms to host it. So all the money that we make, you know, it goes back into the players in some form or another. Whether it be
$300. Oh my God!
Jesus.
Whoa!
Oh,
that used to be our monthly venue fee, but like, I mean, like we fixed that prize structure now. I don't know if anybody who's come to the island has noticed anything about the prize structure. We usually try and pay you so much that you're getting more than the bridge fee. So, but $50 and gas prices makes things very difficult. But now, with our monthly venue, we are changing things up. Coming in January, there is a $200 venue fee cap, where first 20 people to sign up is the venue fee for our place, so that we can do the thing. The rest of it, after that, into the pot, back to the players. So
Damn.
whenever you come to EI, if there's like 30 people signed up, you're getting, and the person who wins is getting like $150. And if that starts being more, that's going to be just exponentially higher. You're going to see a 45-person event with like $300 for first.
I've always told people this, because you know I have some history on the island, but PEI, like PEI pays so well as far as like tournaments go. Like they're just as competitive as any other province, despite, you know, being a little smaller. You guys, and the pay structure has just always been great. Like it's so central to the players and their enjoyment. Like, so huge shout out there.
We try really hard
So
to
hard.
do it, and we've definitely paid for a couple of our venues out of pocket to avoid making people pay a venue fee. But yeah, no, we've given out like some pretty fat bags. There was that one time Jose just
I
threw
still
like
owe Midnight's
150
potatoes.
Jose just threw $150 at us on one time.
He did.
He just started working as a nurse, and he was like, "I'm rich, bitch," and then threw money.
Makes that RN money. That's
Hey.
serious.
Hey, that's good money.
Hey, buddy.
But
try our best. But,
No.
enough about that. I was thinking, do we want to start talking about like how we started getting back into our venues and stuff? I know we already talked about how like the pandemic fucked things up, but how did we recover? How did we
Yeah, the
attack
bounce
that
back.
situation?
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely hop into it. Kind of just Jack, do you wanna start first since you're just on the top left?
I'll go for it. Yeah, so we got shut down for a couple months. We had to cancel St. John's 8, the original date, which was January. And as I said, we've moved it to September, and it ran great. So I really, looking back on things, I'm all right with it now. But we got back into it, and our numbers, honestly, were not much lower at all. We had a lot of people that really were waiting for stuff to come back, because we're all on campus, so those couple months we
good.
couldn't get a campus room, we kind of just were like,
So,
"Alright, we'll take a
You
couple
kept
months off."
about the same number. You kept the same number in like pre-pandemic, or like higher.
Yeah,
or a bit
we
lower?
really, and before the pandemic hit, because we only came back like, I think September last year, for the first time since COVID started at all, and we were getting like some of our highest numbers, like 50 to 60 people per weekly between games, which is like much higher than I think we used to get, honestly. And then we came back in March, and it really didn't drop much at all. We we kind of filtered out some of the older players and got some new guys, but in terms of raw numbers, like we didn't have much of a drop off. The only thing is we lost a couple of people due to like regulations with masks and vaccines and stuff, but that was all. Is it bound to happen? Can't control it. But I'm glad that most of our team was good with all the regulations, and it made me happier to run stuff when people felt safe there, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no. Max and Cal, let's hear it for PEI.
So we, sorry, I
Ow.
no,
no.
So coming back from COVID, we sort of like took a break over COVID. I know most people are pretty burned out.
We were both really trying to grind to see if we could find a venue. That was the biggest thing. Was like, who's willing to put up with us?
Yeah. So at the end of 2021, we'd made a deal with UPEI, sort of, in that Alex kind of turned the Smash scene into a society at UPEI and was trying to book a venue through that society because they wouldn't deal with him as an individual, but they also treated him like shit. And just sort of like separately, at the time, UPEI was going through this weird scandal where their like student council president got ousted. I don't know if you've ever heard about this.
Yeah,
I just went to high school with the guy.
Oh, okay.
He like got ousted for dumb reasons, and then they didn't have a president, so they just couldn't move anything. So Alex would be like, "Can we have a venue in 5 days?" And they would be like, "If we get to it, then sure." And then sometimes they'd get to the day and they'd be like, "Oh, we never processed your request. No weekly." And then we just have to tell everyone who has signed up no weekly. So that sucked a lot.
So very bad for motivation to come and do things as well.
Yeah.
So after we found this little spot called EM Cards and Collectibles in March, then people were a little wary. Like, hey, how's this going to work? The place isn't very big. How are we going to get like
It was
people
like
in
a
here?
hallway.
It was like a hallway.
It's not big. It's not big at all.
No. They've doubled in size since then because
when you got there, that is twice the size of what it used to be.
Damn. Okay.
Like beside it and broke down the wall.
Yeah.
Specifically because we convinced them to, being like, you guys are going to get huge. More space, please. And then they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Let's buy the place beside us. Whoa, where'd you get that money? And he's like, I don't know. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, I won't worry about it.
it was weird because at the end of 2021 and the start of 2022, we started getting a lot more of our new players become regulars in the scene. A lot of the guys who had like shown up over COVID started off with Wi-Fi events, gotten into the game, got old enough to like come out to events on their own over the COVID pandemic. So coming back to events was very weird because me and Cal and Jose and Richie, we were all there, but most of the boys that we had been like playing with were either on break or just kind of disappeared. Like
Frankie was in Quebec.
Frankie moved to Quebec for a while. Fella took a break for school. Garrett literally just disappeared.
Rest in peace, the Morgue Mobile.
Fucking Morgan. Yeah.
Mind Reader's car got destroyed, and he wasn't able to fix it. for a very long time, and not many people are willing to drive out to Georgetown to go pick up this one guy who's going to beat them up with me, sword fighter.
We did it twice.
So I don't know. I
You
know
did it
a few
once. I did
times.
it once.
Thankfully.
Jeff.
Thankfully, we got some killer youngins coming in, like K-Cool, Cyberace, Twy. I see you folks in the chat. Let's go. Also, Jose, what's going on? And they came in with a vengeance, stellar attendance. Previous inconsistent players started coming back, like E-Man, who couldn't come to a lot of events, just started just like every week, every time. Let's go. We got Spoonie and Drab. Unfortunately, they had to move away, but
They're both
they
Smash
were
4 players.
so happy to have them back.
Yeah, they were.
Spoonie moved?
What?
Spoonie moved?
Spoonie
Oh,
moved
he's
to
back.
Ottawa for school.
He's still playing
Oh.
Smash, and when he comes back, he's gonna play again. But I think Drab is just gone. I think he just
Yeah.
moved to Alberta and is now gone, which is really sad because he never actually got to go to anything like big. Because he sort of had a random explosion where he got like 4th at a weekly, then 5th at a weekly, then 2nd at a weekly, and then left.
And gone.
So we got guys
Definitely.
back from Smash 4. We got guys, new guys who were
Hmm.
super young, and we were kind of trying to grow our new scene with our old players kind of getting integrated into it, and we weren't sure how it was going to go for a bit. But that's sort of just where we were at headspace-wise after
And with
COVID.
with the consistency that people started coming out more again, and even though we were shuffling monthly venues like a card shark, we were able to get monthlies to happen anyway because I just kept trying, and they were like, all right, monthly, we're making it work. It's gonna happen.
PEI boys are absolutely dead loyal, and we could be like,
I've literally dead in the water.
I've literally pitched like, hey, what if we had a tournament in this giant hole that I know about that's 20 minutes outside of Charlottetown? And like half the boys were like, if you can get a generator out there, I'll attend. Like genuinely, they will go anywhere just to play Smash
so
with
good.
the other boys in the scene.
And they're getting close. They were getting closer and more comfortable, and it made events so much better because everybody was able to like joke around. And there's
Where's
a
all
lot-
money pit? Sorry.
and then there's a lot more crossover with fighting games and Smash Bros. Thank you, Guilty Gear Strive, for that, because oh my god, I have never seen more people excited for the Guilty Gear franchise as I have in this past year. I went from something that like, nobody knows about this thing to oh my god, it's like the biggest thing now.
Guilty Gear's been popping off in Mountain
100%.
Yeah.
I want to get back. I want
Yeah.
to pass it to Walter Sherlock because
Yeah.
I want to get back to the integration of PEI Smash and PEI fighting games because it was a big part of what made 2022 cool. Because I can like. Anyway, I'll get back to it. I really like hanging out with the fighting game guys, and the fact that we're like a little bit closer now is good.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right, pass it
So
up.
so Eric, so I mean, you and I can probably tag team this one, but I'll let you start.
Go ahead. We're going 2v1 right now, so you guys 100%.
Yeah, and we're talking for 5, so please stop us. Sorry.
Well, Keith, how about you start and I'll finish because I tend to do the same as them. So.
Well, okay. Well, I don't actually remember when La Hub started back up after the COVID break.
We never stopped, actually. I think Le Hub didn't even stop in January. We just kept going because UDM wanted us to keep going. So I don't think our only break was when we first started back in 2020, October, with 3 weeklies. And then we had to stop because we were like in orange phase or whatever color back in the days. And then we came back in July 2021, and ever since we never stopped. We wanted to, but then UDEM was like, no, because they wanted to have a steady activities for their students, and everything was safe. We measured all the tables. We have masks. We had sanitizers on every station. Like, it was pretty safe. So they said, no, like, you're in or you're not. So we had to keep going even though everything around was shutting down. So the hub actually never stopped. Even when the schools were shut down, we kept going because we kind of had to. But it was fun in a way. It was stressful because, like, it was peak pandemic, kind of. But then back in March, the province decided to lift the mask already. It felt like kind of early to me, but we kept the mask on campus up to like June, I think. But yeah, our events really never stopped, and it went well. And for a while, we were the only one hosting. So Le Hub had like 50, 60 people for Ultimate every week, just because we were the only one like hosting. So people wanted their like, you know, their
Their
how do you say
fix. Their fix.
Go on with
Yeah.
the fit. I've never seen a group of junkies more excited
So-
than Smash players. Oh
yeah,
my
but
God.
we did started hosting FGC gradually. Like it started with Buddha, I think he wanted to host like Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I don't know when, maybe in March. He was one of our first player, like one of our newer players around.
I
So
love
he,
Buddha.
yeah, he started having some Dragon Ball side bracket, and when there was enough interest, we actually started like making it official with people paying, like getting pot money and pot price or whatever you say that.
Hot money.
And then yeah, so and then Guilty Gear did the same. They started side bracket, and then when it was enough, they started an official bracket, and then Mario Kart, and then FIFA, and then FIFA. Yeah, no, FIFA. Okay, FIFA. Anyways, I'm not gonna go on
If
with
anyone
that.
pitches FIFA and PEI, I'm shooting them.
FIFA got canceled.
No.
Yeah, but it's
No, you're
not.
not.
Because
No, you're
it's
not.
just because their community wasn't bringing monitors.
We
or,
just won't. We just won't talk to them.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Bernie's in the chat. Bernie's in the chat, Eric. I gotta interrupt because he's in the chat. He's correcting you. He's saying that there was a 6-week gap, which I actually believe, after after Holiday Hub, there was a 6-week gap because everything was locked down, shut down.
Okay, yeah,
So-
yeah. We came back in February. Never mind, I'm spreading misinformation. You see, I don't remember shit. Like,
I know.
thought
It was a long time ago. Like,
And that's-
we've been talking here like at the start of the year. It's just like, holy shit, that feels so long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I know for like me and St. John, like I started the weeklies back in like mid-February, right when we got the okay to start, like they start letting up on the restrictions on how many can attend, because like our new venue is like in an upstairs of a comic book shop in a games room, so it's it's quite a tight squeeze for what we have. And then what was it in Light or Murph? One of you guys are in the chat. I think that Green Door, you guys finally got the go ahead in, what was it, April?
Green Door. Okay, yeah.
April,
Yeah.
May?
Yeah, I think aside from Green Door, our weeklies started a lot. We weren't the last ones to have an event because we did a random Games West tournament in the middle of March before
Yeah.
someone else's events came back. But if I recall correctly, we got the first EMs was on March 31st of this year.
I've got the.
I know that's
Okay,
correct.
well.
You don't need to check.
Yeah.
But basically, I'm fairly certain that we were the last one to get a consistent weekly going aside from Fredericton. We were the last province.
Well, tell me about the Nova Scotia side, because I'm drawing a blank on when you guys came back, and I'm usually the one with the good memory.
So yeah, like I touched on earlier, obviously we shut down just like everybody else did in late December, January, February. But with us losing our room at Dalhousie, that kind of added another month and a half, 2 months onto that stint. Our first tournament back was March 28th, and surprisingly, that was, I think, our biggest attendance like since pre-pandemic entirely. We had 50 people, which before COVID, we were doing 50 to 60 every week just easily. And so to see 50 again, like, after everything was really nice, and it stayed near 50 for a good month or two. What was probably like the key thing with us, the interesting thing, obviously with having a capped room and everything like that, it's nice to have that many players. But the big thing with us was like we lost so many of our kind of top players from before COVID. We lost like half of our PR basically, and a lot of other top players became just kind of like inconsistent. So we had like people like Balo and Gronk who would only come out once in a while, and then we had others like Asprey and Sham Savior, where we might see like 2 times a year, and so many other people too, like in that 10 to 15 range. So what was really strange about our events for a while is that we were very, very top heavy, and when we had events back in like November, we had like a 6 week stint where we had 6 weeklies. We saw so many of these new players come out that we just like, who the hell are these people, right? And they're actually sick, right? But at the start of this year,
No,
we'll
go after.
That's the cool thing about having all new players. That it starts new storylines. You get to see
Mhm.
new rises all at once.
yeah. So the big thing at the start of this year was like we were so top heavy, and then we had all these new players, and there was just this huge gap. So our weeklies would just kind of be like the top 7 or 8 players just beating up on the other guys. But with me hosting my tournaments over that kind of break, I got to host stuff a lot sooner than we did back at Dalhousie. All those players that started to rise, those were the ones who wanted to grind and like actually come to stuff. Those were the guys who were there every single week, and I'm sure we'll get into this like later on, but like throughout the spring and summer, like those new players, they were the ones who just rose, and just like I'm talking like Von Bauer, Bongos on the Wall, Drag, Smolder, like so many of these guys are just like top eight every week. So it was crazy to go from the start of the year with the player base and see how it's changed so much since then. But no, we hit the ground running for sure. We stayed pretty strong ever since we opened up.
So, Vault, kind of going back to you, we talk about the storylines and kind of the emerging players from, post-pandemic, we'll call it, post-pandemic era. Now, I'll throw this to everybody. We'll kind of go in reverse order. What are some of the key storylines that you guys have kind of seen come out, of your scenes from certain players or whatnot, like any rivalries, any beef, just anything just to note, just to tell the people out here, because I mean we got almost about 40 viewers tuned in right now, and of course the whole goal of these streams is to kind of bring everybody together. So let's Vault. I'll just start with you. And
just while we're on it, probably I guess the big one that comes to mind, I mean there's a few, but the big one that comes to mind is the Bean Boys.
Bean Boys?
We have a crew here called Bean, and two of their main guys, they're brothers actually, Drag and Minnow. At the start of the year, these guys, they're okay. You saw a little glimmer here and there, but these two guys over the summer just leveled up, and then they leveled up again. Like Drag plays Yoshi, and he's consistent top 7, top 5 every week, and Minnow, he plays Palutena.
Oh wow!
What's that? Yeah, he just finished top 10 on our recent PR, which came out this week. Yeah, big rise for sure. And his younger brother plays Palutena, also super scary. 13th on our PR, so just missed it. Just missed the HM spot.
That's a hell of a practice partner.
Yeah. So those two brothers, they rose big time. And I mean, obviously, you can't really talk about Nova Scotia hidden bosses without mentioning Moo. We discovered Moo this year.
We've heard of the Moo.
I believe K Cool discovered Moo and then brought him to me. Then I sent him to Theod. Because at the very start of the year, I did like a joke crew. It's not dead, but it's just K Cool running it. I haven't been involved in it in 10 months. I was involved in it for the first 2. And then now it's K Cool's thing.
We can blame Theod.
Yeah. So I
blame Theod.
We were actually, our joke was that we were looking for a good player because our team was shit. And so K Cool comes to me and he was like, "Hey, I'm friends with that random K Rule guy that just beat Tilde in that last Bamboo Battles. Do you want me to add him to the crew?" I went, "Yeah, that sounds hilarious." And so I talked to him, and then I was like, "Are you aware there's an Atlantic Canada Smash scene?" And he was like, "Tangentially." So I gave him to Theo, and I was like, "Enter an RSC or something."
Do it.
And then he did, and then I don't know, that snowballed into Kings of Halley, I think.
There you go.
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah,
the,
I mean,
the people
we-
champion at Kings of Halley, I gotta say.
Yeah.
We'll definitely get into Kings of Halley later, but obviously that was just a huge story. Another player that just came out of nowhere. More names that come to mind are Madlow, Smolder, Vest is another guy who just came out of nowhere, and now's I think
I see some
think he-
best mentions in the chat too. Yeah.
yeah. So he's eighth on our PR now, and we're at a point now where our mid level has like rose so much, and now they're really giving the top players like a run for their money. And there's just I really pride ourselves like NS. Our mid level is just insane. It's so competitive. Like just like 8 through 20 is just an absolute crapshoot. You never know what's going to happen, and that's so exciting to see every week because you could see someone go 1 and 2, or you could see them go 5 and 2 and get like fourth. It's so
Pretty
competitive there.
I agree.
I want to
I've
say
been
yes,
looking at you
E-Man,
guys,
you are
right?
correct, and yes, Cybrace, you are correct. Sorry.
Yeah. We have a similar scenario here in Moncton. It feels like the mid seeds is kind of like a shuffle between like who's gonna get that 9 for like 7th spot. Like it's always like
Yeah.
tossing around. Yeah. I don't know if you were done, Vault, or
Yeah. No, I think I can hand it off there.
Yeah. So I mean, Eric, again, you and I probably see the NB side of it more than anyone. Some of the emerging storylines, and a lot of them do kind of persist to La Hub, just because again, you guys host the biggest weekly out there. So
Yeah.
I'll let you kind of take it away.
yeah. Well, on our side, I would say the 3 players that rose the most. I'm excluding Joe because Joe was already kind of like a top player, but Joe really kind of he really like stepped up his game in the sense like I'm a clear top 5 in NB kind of guy. But
That's kind of like here in Nova Scotia, our We Fit Mr. Reezy. He was always good,
Yeah,
but then he got really good.
Yeah, exactly. Joe kind of just got solidified himself as like one of the best players in NB. The 3 that I was gonna mention are like literally also top players in NB, and then I'm gonna go with like the more mid seats / 7th place at Le Hub or like our regionals, or like Clutch. Clutch really stepped up his game. Our youngling resident. Midnight's literally not really came out of nowhere, but like I remember seeing results of Midnight's online on like RSC and shit, and I was like, who the heck is this like Robin who keeps doing really well online? And then he came to Le Hub, got like 9th, destroyed ladders, then just never looked back, and then just started top 8ing everything up until to the point where really quickly he became a consistent top 5, top 4, and now he's like top 3 pretty much every week, maybe 4th once in a while, or 5th if like there's an upset in the bracket and he has to face like Shucky or so in for 5th or something like that. He's
Bernie is asking you not to accidentally leak the NBPR.
Yeah, Eric, you're getting booted if you do.
I didn't do anything.
Anyway, enough about that. But I kind of want to interject with the Midnight's rise, because dude was on a fucking grind this year. He would come to like I think there has been maybe 5 La Hubs in total of the last year that he just hasn't been able to attend. There was a point where he was traveling almost 3 times a week to events to play Smash. He would come to St. John on Tuesdays. He'd go to fucking PEI for their monthlies on Saturdays.
And then Joe
and then would go to fucking Nova Scotia on Sundays with a carload of people, and that was like the dedication, and the dedication. And now even now, I mean, he's kind of stopped coming to SJ on Tuesdays, but he opens up his place for people to come out and grind and get better. So like if you're in the area, or if you're willing to make, I think it's like a 30-minute drive outside of Moncton, 30 minutes.
I remember at Kings of Halley when I was emceeing stuff and thinking of like how to introduce people. That was the number one thing that I thought of, is how many tournaments he had won that summer just from like traveling around and going to like as many tournaments as he could. So that was already in my mind, like definitely just someone who's just grinding all the time.
Yeah,
bunch of sharks is what they are.
No, and like that arc has been probably my most impressive of 2022. It's just his kind of rise and kind of like consistency that he has been having across the board. So
and we're talking a guy who drive like he has a full-time job and he has to drive from Kapolei, which is like 40 minutes away from Moncton too. So like it's not like if he lives in Moncton, like he does all of that and still wake up every morning to go to work.
Mhm.
He works for Cavendish, the fries.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
but
Shout out Cavendish fries.
Shout out John Cena as well. Fucking.
Oh yeah, shout out to Sean
Sh-
Cena
man.
for
Sean's another guy I gotta give some shout outs to. Just the
yeah, he's on my list. I made a list and Sean is on it last at the very end, but he's on it.
Ooh,
No.
last. Yeah.
I was gonna say, wasn't more of his rise in 2021, anyways.
Well, I mean, a lot of his breakout was kind of came in 2022, and now like he has he's becoming the ever adding of the fucking dog pile of Pyromithras that we have, and he's been experimenting with Ike, and he's been doing a lot, like getting his results honestly haven't been dipping as much as they probably would if you just hard turkey to a new character. So I mean, shout outs to Sean, and of course, like he's saying it in the chat. Driver never gets any credit. He's one of the guys who he's one of the guys who who is willing to who's willing to make the trek. I mean, today he was like him, Joe, and Pixels. And I think Midnights were all gonna like drive down to a tournament in Maine, like about 6 hours from here.
Crazy.
But that got canceled, and probably bad storm weather. But
Yeah, maybe for the better.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah,
someone else on my list for 2022/2021 is Pixel. Pixel's pre-pandemic was decent, but like it wasn't a top player. I remember he came to Le Hub 1, 2, 3, which like the first Le Hub before we got shut down again until we came back full time in July 2021. In 2020 in October, he brought me last stock, and then I killed him with a B out of shield with Zelda at like 60, and he DI'd poorly. And ever since, I don't know what lit up in his brain, but like he did not like it. He came back to the whatever next weekly in July and started destroying shit. Everyone, like he would destroy me, like I couldn't touch him at all. And I was like, "What the fuck happened to you?" It was like, that B, yeah, I didn't like it. He didn't like it. I DI'd that poorly, and like I think he didn't like it and just decided to win. And then ever since, Pixel's been doing really well everywhere he goes too. Like he's our local Samus main. He's now in Fredericton, but yeah, for studying. And
Sweet.
yeah, who else? So these are like some like our top seeds, I guess, like Joe, Clutch, Midnights, Pixel. But then we got our consistent mid seeds like Naredo, who often gets like 13th, 9th. Icy Phoenix, Steve Main, who's been rising, actually doing really well at the weekly. Like got a win on on myself, on Sean, on like a lot of good players really, with Steve and Pikachu as well. Sean, we mentioned already. Sean, Salty surprised me this year. Salty,
Yeah.
like schmoovin with the little Mike, really like a serious threat. Like do not sleep on Salty. He's been getting top 8 a couple times, and like you can never count him out because of KO Punch, and just that the guy is just really mad skill. He's really good with Pac-Man as well. And we got the teenagers, the rise of the teenagers, Shadow
Oh my
X
God.
and Taco. Well, we got a bunch of teenagers. Le Hub is like kind of a playground for Red Bull and teenagers, but
Yeah.
I would say the two that comes off to mind is Shadow X and Expired Taco, because I think they came at the same time, and they're both really skilled from the get-go, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, these kids are actually good. You can't sleep on them, and like fairly quickly they got to top 8, 9, 13. They had their adjustment, and then now they're consistent 9th, 13/7th, 5th on a good day, and Shadow X mains Dark Pit, and Taco mains Donkey Kong, and started to play with Mario around lately.
Oh, Mario's nice.
I've seen his Mario.
Mario's nice. He uses it, I think, for hard matchups. So that means he probably uses it for every single matchup DK has, but I don't know.
I do remember when we went to La Hub Monthly, I watched, I think it was Catalyst versus Salty, the one where Salty won, and he really impressed me. You don't see Little Mac move like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, and we got plenty of others. Like I want to say myself-ish, but I don't know. And some others.
Let's go, Sherlock.
Big P, Spook, Kazul, Deagle, Poppy, Molly. Like I could go on. We have a lot of mid seeds that are like solid, but it's hard to compare because when I hear about your mid seeds, like Rick, I'm like, it's your mid seed sounds so terrifying, but like it's hard to compare because they've never played each other or barely, so I can't tell if all mid seeds are that threatening. But like I've seen odds of your mid seeds and like they play good. Like I know they're good. I've seen like your Twitch.
Yeah, it's super interesting too because like you said, they're so new. We haven't had many opportunities for these communities to clash other than Kings of Halley, and it's super interesting. I'm sure like 2023 we'll get more opportunities to see that, but it's really good when a mid level is so strong in a scene because it keeps the people on the top like still pushing and it raises the bottom too. So.
Oh, and we got Bethman who exists.
Yeah.
Are you happy? he wanted a shout out, so
I'm right there too, Boop Man. Don't worry.
Yeah. Another one. Just a couple other people from NB to point out as well. After Atlanta Hope, that kind of put on my radar was Crazy Guns.
Ooh,
He almost beat.
Right. Guns,
he had a last hit. Game 3 with Kyle GDL and losers at Atlanta Pope, and then the next week he beat Eric in bracket.
Yeah. Damn.
So
no, he's good. He's very good.
Yeah.
He's one of those. As I said, like I'm skipping a bunch. There's so many.
I bet you did, Kyle.
Yeah.
I bet you did. Show me the VOD.
He hasn't top 8 yet, but like it's a matter of time. We all know he will. Like he's very good. Like he's like. I guess I think he's about the same level probably of like Generic T, but I haven't played Generic T a whole lot. But his bomb play is like it's so solid. Like you can't do anything. He just nairs drop bomb. Like he just plays around you until like it's he's very good.
Yeah, a couple other guys I'm gonna shout out too that came up post pandemic was definitely Bop Got Him.
Yeah.
Just
the Melton ones, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm bringing everybody in.
There you go.
But yeah, we got Bob. Bob, he used to live in St. John. Now he lives in Fredericton. Crazy Icy's main. Unfortunately, he hasn't really come out to much stuff post like spring summer. Hasn't really like I think he's been to like maybe 2 or 3 green doors since he moved to Fredericton in June. So he had a sick run at Kings of Halley. He got 13th and he took out S Sun in what I gotta give it out to him for fucking the probably the most patient set I've ever witnessed. S-Sun hung out by the ledge, and he just started stabbing him. He's like, "I'm just gonna stab you. Come hit me, and like, that is an awful matchup for Ice Climbers, and he played it like so well, and like also on top of that too, like he had to deal with his set with Twy in winners, which he ended up losing, but like Twy just like camped the shit out of him, like.
Yeah. That was the set that I was thinking about when you were talking about.
Let's go.
Yeah, when you were talking about how patiently he played at that tournament, that set in particular, Twy and Bob Got Him that was a war of attrition.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, props to both players for handling, because I went to game 3, and it was a long set, but it was.
One time Bob Got Him and S-Sun played in an online bracket, and I voluntarily watched it. It was like one of Theode's brackets, and it's genuinely the worst set of Ultimate I've ever seen in my life. S-Sun didn't stop. He didn't dash a single time all set. He just walked. He just did walk back, shadow flare, and then every once in a while, Bob Got Him would try and do something, and he'd forward air him, and that was the set. That happened for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
S-Sun won. I'm sad that they played twice. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And another person that I gotta give a shout outs to is my fellow Snake brethren, Lemony Rex.
Hey, best
He's-
taken ND, let's go.
I won't. I won't deny it. I won't deny it. I've lost. I'm coming back for it in 2023, boys.
all right, let's go.
But
Resurgence, we can rebuild him. Of the technology.
but no. Seth is he's definitely been on the come up. He came out originally pre-pandemic, like really like right as the pandemic hit. He was him and Bop actually, they were in the kind of the same thing, and then when they came back, when weeklies came back, like they popped off and got like a lot of good wins. And like Seth, like I gave you guys like what I thought Snake was, but Seth plays him in a whole other way, and like you have to you think you're playing like me. No. He's got the movement. He builds the wall. I just dash attack.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. But yeah, that's kind of my my of the players so far. I guess we'll keep on the player chat, and then we'll just move it over to Cal and Max.
Actually,
Can we pass straight?
yeah,
to
I think.
All right, you guys. All right,
People are
put it to
asking
Jack.
for
All right, Jack.
And I
Jack.
also
I'm
want to
being
hear
requested,
Jack.
I think.
All right, Jack.
I'm gonna go pass it on, and then we'll get back to us because we don't stop talking.
We have so much to say about new players from 2022. Newfoundland will never be discussed again. Please take your turn.
Yeah, so Newfoundland, same as always, is really interesting because we have like no crossover. Like, I know a lot of your guys' players, and I feel like some of you guys know the Newfoundland guys, but in terms of actually playing each other, like,
I've
none
read
of
every
our guys
single
play
one of your
online.
practices for 6 months.
Nobody plays online
in
from
the
Newfoundland
know.
at all, except
He's in the
Banjo.
know. I'm not, but
But basically, coming into 2022, we've seen Banjo won every tournament basically for a long time. I think on the year he's got 30 something tournaments and 25 firsts or something, and the rest are seconds basically. But what we had a lot of is people moved here. So we had Kerbooples moved from Manitoba. He's like, I think he's top 5 or something there, and he's like third, fourth currently here. We had Crimzar moved from Ireland, and he's awesome. He's one of our top players now. And we had this guy J-Man, Kazuya player, moved from Central Newfoundland. Never played in a tournament until 2 months ago, and currently he's first on our elo. So,
It's
crazy.
it's actually crazy when I see the results from the Newfoundland side, and I just started seeing this Kazuya, and at first I thought it was D Money or Banjo just smurfing, like, because they're notorious for doing stuff like that, and then I'm like, wait a second, Banjo's second, D Money's like third, fourth. Okay, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah,
what's going on?
It's crazy because I played him at his first weekly, and he was like, "Yeah, I've never played in a real in-person tournament before," and he beat me, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know how Kazuya works. Maybe he's just like whatever." And he got like 7th, and then the next week he got 3rd, and the next week he won, and he won the last 3. So he's just crazy.
There's one more player we're forgetting too.
You're
Who
gonna
is it?
You might have to tell me.
Anarchy.
Oh yeah, you can talk about Anarchy.
Yeah.
And because I knew about Anarchy last year. I think Twan played him online, and Twan was like, "This guy's crazy. Like he's beating my ass. He's from middle of nowhere, Newfoundland." And I believed him. I believe he's godlike, but he finally came out. Well, first he went to Shine. He casually got 9th. Nothing too crazy.
Just played him.
He beat Yanni.
Which, when you think about it, that might be one of the best results like a Canadian has ever had. Like, aside from Riddles and Big D, like, that is just unheard of in Ultimate for a tournament that size.
Yeah, and because I knew about him,
Wait,
but I
did
completely
he run
forgot about
ads
him.
over top of this? But what?
He did.
That's
He did
crazy.
run
he
ads.
didn't. No, he didn't. Okay, Twitch did. All right, we can do. How long?
Yeah, Anarchy got 9th at Shine, and we were all like a couple of us knew about him, but a lot of people didn't, so it was crazy. And then we convinced him to come to St. Nordans, which sadly Shucky and Moo couldn't come to, because that would have been really cool to see.
Yeah.
But I know Anarchy and Moo played online. That's my reference, and I know Anarchy's 2-0 in the last 2 sets. So that's NL Pride. But he basically came, he lost 1 game to D Money, and nothing else was close. He 3-0'd Banjo on all of his characters basically, but I hope we can see him come out more because it was really cool to have, like, you know, he's repping NL. We don't really know him, but he's crazy and he's a super kind guy.
How far is it from you guys' venue? Like, he's in
He's like,
Bonifaz?
yeah, he's like in the middle of Newfoundland, so it's like that's probably like a 4 or 5 hour drive. I don't know, something around there. Yeah,
Newfoundland's really big.
yeah, and we're on the most eastern point, which doesn't help.
Yowzers.
But yeah, and then aside from the top guys, we had a lot of like some newer people and some people that were around before but not really like beating the best of the best. So guys, we had like Sael, Dad, Lero, I Will Eat You, a bunch of new guys who, you know, they're hanging around that mid-level for a bit, but they got a couple of PR wins, and you know, I feel like in the next year or so, you might see some newer guys up top.
Newfoundland got the top 1 tags on their top players. Y'all rocking Kerbooples and I Will Eat You? That's crazy.
Yeah, he came to his first tournament, and I was like, that's your tag? Like, straight up?
That's hard. I'm
No.
so glad it is.
Oh my god, people with
Yeah.
the Keith mailman fucking copy pasta in the chat now because they.
What about Labrador, though?
Oh my goodness.
Shout out the Labrador tags.
I don't think we got nobody in Labrador.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I mean,
Not a single person.
yeah, and
There's a
that,
couple of people that lived in Newfoundland that I know that live there now, but
yeah.
I don't think they have enough people to run a scene.
Well, Jack.
I'll be right back, guys.
Okay, bye, Eric. But Jack, kind of going into it there, as you mentioned with, you know, kind of Anarchy being about 4 hours away. I mean, Newfoundland's just kind of full of hidden bosses just tucked away because of the distance between you guys. I mean, obviously there's Ellipses, Sam's player.
Yeah, he's still
know,
crazy.
Yeah,
I
he
since the game came out, he's only played like 3 tournaments, and he won 2 of them, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, and like he grinds Wi-Fi like no other.
Yeah, he's still crazy good. On the West Coast, there's Tack, another Samus,
Yeah.
who he usually does good, but he kind of gets screwed over by like being in that mid-range where we have to seed him, where we're not sure how good he is.
Yeah, that was the
So
same.
he usually beats people, but
Yeah.
it's hard sometimes when you're not a top seed to
And
get
that-
that run, you know?
And that was the same when he came over to NB. The first time he came
Yes.
over to NB, he actually got, I think, third. He took out Shucky.
I remember that. Yeah, that was crazy.
And I think he lost to Light and Ben in the run back, and got like third or fourth. And then he came over last year, came to La Hub and went to a Green Door. He was doing like his I don't know what he was doing in NB, but he was doing the Smash Tour.
Yeah, basically.
And he got like, I think he got like 13th at La Hub, and then got 9th or 7th at Green Door.
Yeah, he's a really good player.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about Tack is he never played Smash 4. He was a Brawl player, and then I think he was in the military for all of Smash 4, and then he started playing Ultimate.
That's crazy.
You know what?
I also started with Ultimate. I never played a Smash game before Ultimate, so I got big respect for that because it seems like playing Smash 4 was such a head start for a lot of people. So that's crazy.
We actually currently, I'm pretty sure, in our entire scene at the moment, have like 3 players who are seriously active in Smash 4. Everyone else, it's Cal,
Hello.
S-Sun, Frankie.
Mind Reader?
Morgan was
Mind
around
Reader.
very, very little. Or at least that's what he said.
No,
He said he never
yeah.
came out to anything, and he
He-
got it was 102.
Yeah, I can
He
confirm.
definitely did play Dr. Mario, so I mean, like,
When Spoonie comes back, he'll make like 5.
yeah,
And
there
then
you
like
go.
that's it, and most of the other Smash 4 players aren't even interested. So a lot of our new players are also originals to Ultimate.
Yeah, we are outnumbered vastly. I
The
know
old
a lot
heads
of
will be
people-
killed off soon.
Yeah, I will have my head on a stake within the next year. But you know, I had a good run, so I think we're gonna be good with it.
Not
Jack,
this month,
a couple of-
Midnights.
Huh?
Not this month, Midnights. We're taking December off because it would fall on like Christmas.
Yeah.
So, January.
Midnights was hungry for that bag of potatoes I owe him. I know he is.
Wow.
But I think there's a few more players. I think Twan was talking about. There's Chu Sam and brother Jadine is.
Yeah, we have
Can't-
so many people that Chusam, he's like he's a little older now, but last time he was out here, he was just like a 16, 17-year-old kid wearing Joker cosplay,
Ooh, hard. That's dope.
That's
popping off on
wait,
people, camping
Wait,
with
Joker
Richter.
Persona or Joker Batman?
Persona.
Fuck.
Camping with Richter, talking shit, but he's really funny.
Hey.
And he's crazy good. He lives not that far, like an hour and a half maybe.
Oh, okay.
But it's still, he hasn't been in much. J Bean is another. He hasn't honestly been to too much. He lives with Banjo and D Money.
Isn't that
And
the
he's-
Bayo meme?
That'll
He
work.
plays Bayo, yeah, and he's like
Oh, yeah.
every time he comes out, he gets top 3 or 4. He's one of the only guys that does beat Banjo and D Money more than once, I'd say. But he's retired to play. He plays Pump It Up, and he's crazy.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
But whenever he comes out, he makes waves.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a couple people like that.
Yeah.
Look at Gert, whenever he shows up, does really well.
Gert
But,
works like evenings into nights and always has to be on call because he's like a well-paid actual professional who doesn't practice Smash anymore. He just comes to events. But if he came to all of them, he'd be top 10 on PEI, probably.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. Like,
Not at one point it was real obvious, now it's not anymore.
mm.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the only other guy that I forgot until I just saw in chat is his tag's Wing. He lives in the UK, but apparently I think he's from Newfoundland. And I remember
Oh,
I
okay.
saw on Twitter he followed the Smash on Twitter and his handle's WingNL. And I was like, I've never heard of this guy in my life. And I saw him
Is there
tweet.
a link?
No, he plays like
Terry.
Kazuya Ryu Terry, I think.
Yeah, because
Okay.
he came out of nowhere. Like showed up at one of your
Yeah.
guys' weeklies and won.
Yeah, because I saw him tweet. I followed him back after he followed us, and I saw him tweet like, "I won this tournament," and I was like, "What tournament are you winning if you're in Newfoundland?" But it turns out he's in the UK, and he's from here, I guess. And he visited over one of the breaks, and he won the weekly. He had a really close set with D Money and Grands, and he's back, I think, now until the end of the month. So hopefully we can see him against some of
Oh,
the other
sweet.
top players.
There
Him
you
and
go.
J-Man, some Kazi Dittos maybe.
Oh, that's awesome.
Damn. Okay. All right. D Money defending his title in the chat right now. There.
That was a crazy set.
Terry ain't nothing.
The Terry
Gotta
got
get
dispatched
Ozzy.
quickly.
You gotta get.
But yeah,
Speaking of players
he
from
did some crazy.
absolutely nowhere coming in and destroying our entire scene, Mafu, the honorary Islander from
Secret number one on
BC,
PEI, yeah.
just came in and obliterated our entire scene. Didn't drop a single game, maybe a few stocks.
Wasn't
Well,
close.
Wasn't close. Mega Man. Oh my god! Just like you could tell, there's like a wall. If anybody has read One Piece, it's like he's in the new world. We're not even to like the red line yet. That's the kind of shit that he's past the time skip essentially, but still promotes and like shows up in our chat. He only came to one weekly, but still is like around, and it's just so flabbergasting that like this person who's so good is from somewhere completely different, like literally opposite side of the continent.
I think he was literally taking a trip like through Canada. Right?
Yeah,
like he was just
his flight to Newfoundland got canceled, and then he heard about a Smash Weekly happening on PEI, and he was like, "Fuck it, I'll go." And we're like, "Hi, who are you?" We took a picture, we sent it on Twitter. We got like it was
because him and
crazy. It
Generic
was awesome.
T came to the same event.
Yeah,
So we got
Yeah,
invaded.
I remember
Yeah, I
watching
remember
the stream for that tournament.
And Vol was there too.
Oh,
Not that one. Not that one. It
Oh,
was
wait,
not.
I was the week before.
Oh, you were the week before.
I wasn't there
Okay,
for either
alright.
of these, Cal. Come on.
That's that's my gap in the memory. That's why Max is here. That's
I missed this entire summer, but I do remember that there was one tournament where PEI actually kind of just didn't come out to it. Like it was like 14 man event, but only 12 of them were Islanders. Like it was really weird. I think everyone was just busy that week for no reason. And then Generic T and Mafu were there. When Generic T got like 5th, which was really good, lost to S Sun because S Sun got beat early. And then Mafu, yeah, it wasn't close, just absolutely creamed us.
who TO'd that? It probably some dumb Alex
fishing
you
for
were
shoutouts.
fishing for shoutouts to AJC, the only person who cares about Melee on PEI. Oops, we're going. No, I'm just kidding. He's does so much work. Like a lot of stuff just wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for AJC, because he helped us during the points where we were like struggling to survive while the pandemic was still going on, and still like even with all the complications and bullshit he had to deal with UPEI, made it happen, and kept us floating until we actually found like a consistent venue.
Yeah.
Never gonna drop like the kid in the fucking shitter like that. He's absolutely goated.
I would.
You would? Wow, what a guy.
Do you have anything else to say, Jack?
No, I think that's most of our players, and obviously we had a lot of our guys from before pandemic stick around. We lost a couple. Some people started playing again.
R.I.P. Twan.
What's kind of interesting about NL is we used to be a lot of younger guys playing for Melee and Ultimate, but now it's like all or mostly like adults. So sometimes we'll have people not come for.
I don't know what's up.
Some people will stop coming for 4 or 5 months, start coming again, and not miss a weekly. So
I'm like
it's funny to see.
Weird. I thought I was 22. No.
Just on the topic of that, before I forget, it's a funny stat. One of the weeklies that we had in the summer, the top 8, the average age for the top 8 at one of our weeklies was 28.8 years old.
Well, we're not on your guys' level yet then.
Ass. Damn.
And one of the players who made that top 8 was Mr. Reezy, who at the time was 17. So a 17-year-old could only bring it down so much. It was still almost 29 years old. So
Wow.
Damn, that's good job, fellas.
That's the crazy part about
you gotta get
that.
Average age of every Keith top 8 is 76.
Well, I mean, kind of while you bring that up, Fall, that's kind of one of the craziest things about Nova Scotia Ultimate as is, right? Like a lot of these guys, you know, Raz, Croy, Gronk, those guys all were, you know, teens playing Brawl. Like in, you know, 18, 20 when when Brawl came out, and they've stuck with it every iteration. They've you know, and they've been, you know, top of whatever. I mean, Croy was one of the best Warriors in Brawl in Canada.
Yeah.
And
even guys like Colin North and Lamb, like those guys were playing Melee and still play.
Yeah, I forgot about Colin and Lamb. But yeah, like I'm saying, like these guys like have consistently stuck with it, you know, time and time again, where we have guys who are their age now in 2022 who will like throw in the towel after they go 1-2. They're like, I'm done with this game. This game fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I feel.
I don't even think we had a Brawl scene, right? Like we started during Smash 4. So our
scene has gone through a bit of a page turn.
Yeah.
For like TOing and stuff.
Everything.
And we don't have to get into that. Everybody already knows. But like after that, there was a lot of like connections that were lost.
Mm-hmm.
And so it became a time of like being able to make new connections and start fresh, as well as, whoa, we have nothing. How do we make this work?
Yeah.
Shouts to the other Cal, by the way. I see you in chat. Your name is not Kalayan, so we're not the same, but we are very close.
I don't. All I was gonna say was, yeah, we didn't. Everything in our scene started with Brawl, and I think our most inveterate player at this point it's S-Sun, isn't it?
It's S-Sun or it's Chris.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Chris was
East Dragon, lowercase Cal. Yeah, there you go.
When I was living on the island, it was me.
Yeah, there we go.
It was.
The what?
Do we want to get into PEI new players from 2022? Because there's a lot.
There's quite a few. We are outnumbered by the Zoomers.
Hey, you guys got 5 minutes.
Got 5 minutes.
God.
Understand.
Okay, hold on. I'll hit you with all of them. So I'll go over the quicker ones first. Just guys that I want to shout out that usually started halfway through the year or started at the end of the year. First off is Beef Boss, who's from Nova Scotia. Really cool guy, Luigi player. got a couple top 8s, beat a couple of our like mid-level players, and is currently kind of beating it in the med level, trying to scrap it out with other guys who just started around this time.
Kicks my ass.
Oh yeah, does he ever? The Luigi matchup's tough.
It's not supposed to be.
There's Diego, who just started from Colombia. Really cool guy. Went and hung out at his house a couple days ago. Really awesome. He's our second banjo on the island.
Why do we have 2 of them? I don't know.
We don't need 2 of them.
Pretty cool.
I think we only have 2 of like 3 characters at most, and one of them is Banjo and Kazooie. We got Frey, who just started brand new. Really fucking cool guy. Me and he comes to all of after every tournament. Most of the PEI guys will go out and like get some food together, and everyone's invited. And if you come along, we get to know you better, basically.
Frey started in Smash 64 playing Ness, and I don't know if you know, but also helped in the development of the N64 modding scene online. And I've been hearing stories about this motherfucker for years.
Yeah.
And we finally see him in chat one time, and I'm like, hey, who do you play? You play this game? And he's like, no, I play an older game. I'm like, Melee? What do you play, Melee? And he's like, no, I play 64. And I'm like, are you the Ness player from Summerside who's super famous? And he's like, what?
Yeah.
How did you know who I am? No.
He was really shocked. He was really shocked.
Join us.
He was really shocked that we knew who he was. We just moved to Charlottetown and started hanging out with us. Yeah, he's like top 50 in the world with Ness. Probably the best. He's the best Ness in Canada. I've been told he's the best Ness in the world. I don't think that's accurate information, but he's like top 3.
It's
so,
Jack's hero. Like, Drumbus
Jack loves him.
God among men.
Frey's really cool. He's just learning Ultimate. He's learning, I think, Yoshi and Villager. And he's not quite getting the results he's looking for yet, obviously.
He'll find the stride.
He got top 32 at 64 for SmashCon.
Yeah.
Ideally, he'd like to get back there, but yeah, that's my goat.
Plays Game & Watch in Melee. Okay, understandable.
Beef Boss also has a couple other buddies, but one of them is named Jemmy. Jemmy just recently... I think Jeff already knew him. They went to high school together.
Oh, sweet.
And he just like plays Bowser and me Brawler, and he just recently started beating the shit out of our top level. Or like he beat Richie at the last weekly. That's
okay.
He just got to that level, eh?
We have a timer. That's great. I don't see it,
God.
so
I can't see the timer.
Sorry. I can pop it up.
The more
225. 225.
Okay. The ones that I really wanted to talk about that were like our brand new guys. One of them showed up about halfway through the year, and I think it's best to talk about him separately. His name is Vermilion. He's from Mexico. He's one of our many Latino players. He's really cool. Really quiet. Kind of keeps to himself. But me and Jeff Declan have talked to him a little bit more, and have been trying to get him more involved in the scene. He's a DDD main, but he also plays Rob and Sephiroth and Link and Young Link, and I've seen his Roy. I've seen his... Oh, God. He's played, I believe the total that we counted was 11 characters in bracket, and supposedly the DDD's the main, but everyone agrees that his Rob and his Sephiroth are probably better than his DDD. I don't know. He's really good, though. He beat S-Sun, he beat Twi, he's beaten E-Man. I think he's beaten basically everyone. He shot up our power rankings really fast, faster than everyone's ever done before. He's been to like 5 events, and he got like top 3 at like
2 of them,
2 or 3 of them. Yeah. And then the 3 big ones to talk about are the ones that came in 2021, but solidified themselves in 2022. They kind of had a 3-way rivalry going to see who could rank higher. There's
been a winner now because of that. But
we'll get to that.
We'll get there.
It's K Cool, Twi, Cyberace. They're probably the best known of the players that we're talking about off island. Twi plays Hero, Cyberace plays Puff, K Cool plays
60 seconds.
K-Rool, but also DK and what? 60 seconds. Also plays DK and Ryu. These players were in a like 3-way feud for a while, and then Cyberace kind of stopped coming to stuff after the summer started because he moved back to Summerside and just didn't want to. So he was sort of taken out of the equation, even though his early year results were probably the best out of the 3 of them. And then it was just K Cool and Twi feuding for a bit, and they went back and forth, and K Cool was beating the shit out of him week after week after week. And then K Cool picked up Street Fighter, and then K Cool picked up Guilty Gear, and split his interest in 3 directions, and also started picking up Ryu and Smash, because he got bored as shit of playing K-Rool. And I felt really bad for him, but he was just like not getting the results that he wanted after he started splitting his brain in all these directions.
And
I don't know what the timer is because I can't see his camera. And then basically since then, Twi kept grinding and grinding and grinding.
And now so, got the consistency, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it was a difference between Twi was getting like like third, and then like second, and then like ninth, and then like ninth, and like ninth, and losing to Spoonie, and losing to Richie.
I think we're overtime.
I don't care. He was like losing to like mid-level players that K-Cool was consistently beating, and K-Cool was getting fourth after fourth after fourth after fourth, and then like third, jumping up to like second. Twy won something.
Yes, several things.
But I think the fairest argument to make is at this point, Twy has kind of overtaken K-Cool just because K-Cool isn't as interested in being strictly a Smash guy. K-Cool has started making waves in Street Fighter, and he's trying to make more waves in Guilty Gear. But that kind of split with Twy just banging out Smash again and again and again.
Yeah.
I think just kind of declares Twy our winner. But that whole arc of which one of those three players was going to be on top was the spanning arc for PEI Smash for 2022.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So-
Other than, our older players getting used to that.
So,
Fast enough?
I mean, you went over time, but whatever, that's fine. but, I kind of want to interject. And yo, we got some subs in the chat.
God, Dingle Boy. For Pillows and Rocket FN6, thank you very much for the subs.
Yeah.
Let him cook.
We
He
gotta-
can cook it. It might be a little burnt. All right, we're gonna pull out that
5 minutes
Chucky
in the
tweet.
pan? That's medium rare, bitch.
It's like 6.5. Whatever.
But-
we are still working on it. Good God. Side race.
Oh
is
my
coming
God.
back with it. We've seen higher attendance, but you know.
But
how
even then, that's ending for a bit, like,
Hey.
last week.
And SG record, very nice. All right, famous.
Yeah,
What you got for me?
What
So-
are you saying, big man?
All right, so I mean, you guys before the sub train kind of hit, the one of the things you guys started mentioning was this three-way, kind of rivalry.
Fire Emblem weapon triangle, yes.
Kind of,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And that kind of leads into like obviously we've talked about we've talked about some key storylines. A lot of players rising up over the last year. Is there any particular like I don't know if you want to use the term arc or just simple I don't really know, but
Like an evolution of sorts.
sort.
I'm trying to play up Twy, and he's complaining about us not using Start GG in chat. I cannot stand that man.
No, he's doing great. He'll get into it. Don't worry about it.
If we're talking like particular arcs from that, there's definitely a couple matches. I remember in the spring there was this particular set that happened where it was K-Cool versus Twy, and they traded games back and forth, and their entire goal was just to see who could clip who harder.
Who's got the clips?
K-Cool ended up winning that set.
Oh,
but
so
if I
bad.
recall, he did grab, down throw, up tilt, down tilt, bury him again, up tilt him again, grab him again, down throw him again. He had him, and then he down aired him, and then as he popped out, he grabbed him again. He grabbed him, I think, 6 or 7 times and buried him every time, just to prove a point. And then
It does not mash.
yeah, just
doesn't.
stood there and F smashed him.
Just did it.
And that was sort of K-Cool. After that set, they were less close. Like,
Yeah.
Twy was getting his, like, crits. He was getting his Lucky Hocus Pocuses. He was even getting, I think he got a thwack in Game 4 to, like,
Yep,
either
pretty much.
win or, like, got stock 2 with it. But in that set, K-Cool sort of proved that he was just, like, a step above. And then over the summer, as K-Cool started to take Street Fighter more seriously,
Yeah, branch out a little bit.
he was like ahead by like this much, but there was definitely like a difference. And then as he was paying attention to Street Fighter, Twy just kept rising at the same rate, and K-Cool slowed down. I don't think he's worse than he was.
Huh.
Although he does say that playing Zangief has slowed him down a lot, which is not good for Smash in general.
Yeah, no, Smash doesn't take turns, and getting into fighting games makes you think about things in turns, and it's not the case so much. It might even be a detriment, but I mean, like, it can work.
Yeah,
You just have to get used to it.
Twy's focus and commitment was sort of like, that was a big deal. Also, while K-Cool was spanking Twy, at the same time, K-Cool didn't take a set off of E-Man or S-Sun for a while,
No.
and Twy was not always beating them, but he was going like 40-60 with them.
Yeah, sometimes. Essen had some struggles at the beginning with the new guys, just because, matchup experience. We're PEI. That's the weakness. We don't know whatever characters aren't on the island.
He was picking up Sephiroth at the same time. He dropped Marth because he just didn't think Marth had it, and he just wanted to try out the new character because he thought that the good Sephiroths were not playing Sephiroth correctly, and he thought there was a better way to play him, and he wanted to demonstrate that. And then he came back, and after that training arc, he was still struggling with, specifically, he was always struggling with Twy, especially with Marth, but he started struggling with K-Cool and Cybrace, and he was like, I never want to lose to a child again. And so
that was we call it the S-Sun fuck them kids character arc.
Yeah, he got fourth at one weekly and literally messaged me. I wasn't there, I was really sick. And afterwards, he messaged me the exact message. I'm going to grind this game until someone under the age of 19 will never beat me again. And he did. K-Cool went like 0 for X for the rest of the year.
It was.
And Twy got a couple, but he never actually took the set until like literally 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And Cybrace kind of went 50-50 with him, but then also he disappeared before S-Sun had to learn anything.
That's true.
So...
E-Man I want to talk about for a minute because firmly cementing himself as one of our very best essentially immediately after the year got started again. I know you guys in NB have experienced the E-Man. I heard about one tournament after
I experienced disappointment with E-Man.
You experienced disappointment. That's unfortunate. He has very, very good days, and on those good days,
the one day I'm seated to play him, he gets fucking upset, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Ooh. To be fair, you're not gonna get much out of him because he hates fighting Snake with all of his heart.
Well, it's it's a fucking shitty matchup for Bayo.
But E-Man, in 2021, E-Man was great. People just kept ignoring him because he was sort of our 10th guy. There was 9 dudes who made up the top 9 that were, like, known and, like, feared. And then E-Man just sort of, there has to be 10 people on a PR, so E-Man is also on there. He was sort of consistently beating guys like Fella. He whooped Fella, actually. He played a bunch against, like, Jeff and went kind of 50-50, played, like, 50-50 with Morgan. But he was getting, like, slapped up by like S-Sun and like Frankie and like those guys. And then COVID happened and he just played quick play and no one else did.
There you go.
So he came back and he immediately got 4th and then 3rd and then like 5th and he made top 8 after top 8 after top 8 and we were like, oh, this guy's a lot better than he was. Then the first event where New Brunswick came over, he got 3rd.
Yeah, he did pretty well.
He beat Frankie in winter semis. He beat both the McGillivray brothers back to back, and then lost to I think Shucky and Pixels for 3rd.
But I think E-Man is the only player on the island that has taken like multiple wins on Midnights.
On Midnights for sure, he has 2. But
2.
At the end,
definitely still not.
He was one of the
majority, but
he was one of the.
We get something.
He was one of the 2 players from PEI alongside Twy to make top 8 at the 50-person event that we hosted. That was like 90% New Brunswick players. I think it was literally my dog Von Bauer and Adrenaline from NS, and then like 15 dudes from PEI, and literally 30 guys from New Brunswick.
Woo!
And we still got 2 PEI guys in there because E-Man. I think he lost to. He lost to Luca.
Yes.
Who then proceeded to retire from Smash.
That's the GOAT right there.
Twy beat Shucky and Twy beat Captain Clutch, and for both of them, we were just kind of like...
Oh yeah, E-Man also lost to Rez. Yeah.
For both of those wins, we were just like, really hyped that we were getting these PEI guys in the top 8. And that was sort of another point in E-Man's favor. And then he came back through in 2022, started coming to weeklies every week, actually started winning events. I think he won an event right at the end of 2021. He won like one of the last UPEI weeklies. And then he came back and he won West Prince Wars 7, and we're going to talk about West Prince Wars 7 more later. That's our favorite tournament,
that's our
both
favorite
of us.
by
By a lot. But yeah, he just like proved that he could be, because before he was a good player who knew the Bayonetta combos but felt a bit one note, and then even our top players on PEI are notoriously brutal, like in their criticism towards our mid level, like Frankie and Essen and stuff. Even they have to like give E-Man his flowers because he just is good.
Yeah.
Like, he loses to S-Sun all the time, but that's gotta just be a matchup thing. Sephiroth Bayonetta is miserable.
Sounds
you
like
just
it.
don't beat the sword.
Eric, I knew you you piped up for a second there. I wanted to come back and see because you I don't know, I like hearing your voice.
What's your question?
No, you were about to say something and we kept going, but I wanted to get back to it.
I don't remember.
Maybe not.
I also don't
well,
remember
well,
anything.
well, hey,
Maybe that was 5 minutes ago.
hey, you know what? Well, we'll kind of move on because you know
Okay,
we love
all right.
we love PEI, but we gotta hear the other. We have to hear everybody
We
else.
love PEI.
So
God, it's you have no idea how much.
This was our biggest year for Smash by far. We just have a lot to talk about.
yeah, and that's
No, same for us.
You should see my notes.
yeah.
This was for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I have a scroll bar.
But yeah, no.
One sec.
I mean, obviously, like we've had other, you know, across AC kind of pump it up. We talked earlier about, you know, about the guys from Newfoundland. You know, J-Man, Anarchy, for example. Nova Scotia, we talked about, you know, Moo, Mr. Reezy, and all those, and all the, you know, the new guys on the recently, like as of like 2 days ago, released NSPR. By the way, you guys should check that out.
They've got a Twitter. Or something, maybe, I don't know.
But and we've talked about the NB, you know, the NB guys as well. One, I kind of just want to throw it out to everybody here. You know, we talk about tournaments, and Max and Cal were kind of talking about it earlier, or just a second ago, I should say, about, you know, their favorite tournaments that they've attended. Not maybe not so have hosted, but have attended. Let's exclude KOH 5 because that's kind of its own. That's, in my opinion, that's its own discussion.
That's probably our biggest single talking point, because everyone has something to say about KOH.
Oh,
Yeah. So I'll start with Jack because you're up in the top left.
You're not giving me many options here, Keith, because the only tournament I went to that I didn't run was KOH.
Okay, I didn't mean not run. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But that you attended. I guess, you know, if you're running 90%, like almost every one of them,
Yeah.
you know. So I mean, it doesn't really matter what. Oh no, we lost Jack.
See, Jack. Didn't want to answer.
Damn, he was like, I'm done.
Oh, he's back. Okay, all right. We missed you.
My Discord crashed.
All right, get that camera back on, buddy.
Sensitive topic.
Apparently. So
Yeah, so St. John's is really cool. It was our biggest event we've honestly had since like maybe 2018, 2019. It was going to be bigger if more people could make it out, but flights were not cheap, and we kind of organized it a little bit later than we would have wanted to. But just in terms of getting to meet, like, Mara was out. I've never met Mara before, even though I've known him for 5 years. We had a couple, like, Bongos made it out, and some other Nova Scotia guys. Anarchy was there, so it was cool to meet a lot of people. The Smash was pretty good, but I think my favorite part was just meeting people that I've known online for 3, 4, or 5 years. Same as at Kings Alley. Just, I really like actually getting to meet people that I've been talking to online for forever now.
That's always the best.
Yeah.
we'll go down to Eric.
Yeah.
Give me your favorite tournament experience that you had this year.
I haven't went to PI a whole lot, but I think I went once or twice. PI is always a good time, but it's
0 times in 2022, Eric.
Is that so? Really?
You haven't been in 2022 at all. Your last tournament was the one in November of last year.
Ah, fuck, man.
I think about it every day.
I missed it. I enjoyed it. busy here in NB. Like we've been hosting almost every month. If it's either Le Pub are amazing. If you like drinking and like not caring about your bracket run, go to Le Pub. But yeah,
Unfortunately, I don't drink and I care very much.
yeah. So, but yeah, I would say probably Land of Hope. Land of Hope was really fun, or maybe T-Land. T-Land was great, but I felt like we were still learning. But now, like Land of Hope and Le, or Le Hub Monthly really solidified like our team of TOs. It's not just like me anymore making decisions. Like it's like Joe, Bernie.
Thank God.
We're like a kind of a team of 4 TOs making the decisions. I'm still, I think, kind of like the head TO for Le Hub as a whole, so people still rely on me for like some decisions, but like now I feel like it's not all on my shoulders anymore, and events have been running really smoothly. Like shout outs to especially Bernie and Sean, who really stepped up their game recently, helping out with like setting up and tearing down and just making decisions as well. Like they feel confident doing it. So
I would like to second Lane of Hope. We talked about it before the stream because we wanted to come up with an event that we went to off island that was really fun and one that was here that was really fun. And if you've already talked about Land of Hope, me and Cal both agreed that it was our favorite overall tournament that we've been to this year.
Yeah,
it was
Land of
just
Hope
really
was so
nice.
smooth.
So
Yeah,
good.
it was so smooth. Like we just didn't have any issue for the most part. Like just the event was all of our events has been really smooth lately. Like it just
That
I'm
one in
trying
particular, I'm super jealous of.
There's
I
nothing
wish.
crazy going on. It just works.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would say Land of Hope for me, I think. But I mean, T-Lane was great. Just T-Lane, we were a little bit disappointed in the amount of attendees. We thought we could hit like the 100, but we had the perfectly round 96 person bracket. But we're hoping that T-Lane 2023 will be much bigger. We're hoping we're gonna get people. We might even have some people from Quebec, but that's not confirmed yet. But we're working on it.
Yeah, I'll kind of just chime in there as well for the NB side. T-Land,
I mean,
no. I'm saying T-Land was definitely probably my favorite tournament. Super biased because Eric and I kind of, we managed the ultimate side. And I think it ran, like, it started a trend of events starting to run smooth. I've been critical of the first Le Big Hub and how it ran kind of terribly for the first few hours, just too much clutter all in one. But I think T-Land was it was the perfect kind of thing. We didn't finish doubles on day one because we were like, we got 2 days, let's do it. And
trust me, I know.
So that was part of the plan, Keith. It was
I
already
know.
part of the plan.
No, I know.
Okay.
But I'm saying, like, we had everything just, we just had a really good schedule for it. Everything finished early. We got a lot of sets. We were able to stream a lot of sets, a lot of pools in there. I think we only, I think out of all of them, I think we just didn't get maybe 4 qualifiers, like losers qualifiers for top 32. And there was just a lot of overall, just a lot of fun energy in there. I mean, we had the crew battles that happened on Saturday night. Some of probably the most ridiculous shit that's ever going to come out of people's mouths. It was.
I remember getting loud, losing my voice.
It got a little rowdy, that's for sure. We had and just aside from the technical issues we ran into on day 2 towards the top 8 of Ultimate, it had such good it had such good advantage. With everything, we made sure that we had people on comms.
You're welcome.
And I appreciate it, Cal.
People, aka Cal.
Well,
I watched that stream. It was just like hanging out with Cal for 13 hours.
Yeah, there you go.
but
I'm used to it.
But no, it was it was it was just overall a huge fun experience. All the feedback that we got from the players, it was definitely something for me at least that, hey, we put in this, all this work, all this effort setting it up, and it it paid off. It paid off super well, and like in the ultimate side, like it was just crazy runs from a lot of people. Like, who would have thought that Sea Salt would have reversed 3-0'd Light with me fucking Brawler
Oh, it was so
to get
good.
it to get
Oh
into
my
grand
God.
finals, and then
It
like
was not with me Brawler. He went me Brawler for the first 2 sets and got sweeped, and then switched to Falco. and
oh
won.
yeah,
Hey,
but
the Falco.
I wanted to talk about that set later because it's literally my favorite set I've watched all year.
but anyway, it was it was.
Ooh, the light in the chat. You're get Keith, run.
Me Brawler. I got it mixed up. I'm sorry. Now that my memory has been jogged, I remember I went up to Eric and I said, "Oh my God, Caden is fucking running me Brawler. He's throwing in winners finals. He's ruining the tournament. I'm fucking pissed. Holy fuck!" And then then he went to Falco, reverse 3-0'd him, and then I think Light 6-1'd him or 6-0'd him in grands.
It was a pretty good like winners to grands to reset. It was
Yeah, there was a part during I think it was either I think it was the last stock of the winners final set where Light was in an egg and Sea Salt F smashed him, and then he tried to roll past him in the shield, and then he did turn around and F smashed him again and broke the shield. Only time I've ever seen a Yoshi shield break in my life. It was so much fun to watch.
You want to see some Yoshi shield breaks? You should come to SJ and watch me do it to Slowpoke.
Oh God, that's a long drive, Keith. I don't know what to tell you.
I will attest. The most memorable moment right now in my head, probably because it was the most recent big one, was the ending to grand finals at Holiday Hub, where Light got the spike on the edge on Shucky right at the end.
Yeah.
That was hype as fuck, jumping out of the chair. That was fucking awesome. Tomorrowland, I wanted to talk about one thing that a lot of people probably didn't really think about too much, maybe, but it got so many like FGC was in the perfect like corner area where everybody got to see it.
You're welcome
So
for that.
many eyes on Guilty Gear and Street Fighter and Tekken and everything. There was so much. There's so much like focus. And people were like, "Whoa, people play? Well, that's really cool. Can we like get into it?" I think that was kind of like the start of into people starting to play some gear, starting to go in with it. I loved the FGC side of Tomorrowland just as much as I loved commentating the entirety of Smash.
No,
And I'm sad that I had to drop out, but I gotta say shoutouts to my boy Remy for taking my tag, Cal, and getting third in gear just so I got that little layup in the stats whenever people look over on the side. Oh my god. It's every time I look at it, I'm like, hey, that wasn't me, but people think it's me. Yeah, look at that. That's probably why
Bronze medal,
people put me up
baby.
there. Christ. Oh my god. But Tomorrowland. So
And
fantastic. So excited for the next one. Sign up today to Tomorrowland 3 coming out.
It's
What's the
2023.
time?
March
2023?
4th and 5th.
March? Hey, right there. We got it.
Anyway,
Oh my goodness.
let's move it down to Vault.
That was Remy. Yeah.
Vault, you've been pretty quiet there, so give us your like tournament. Obviously, like KOH, but was there anything that stood out aside from KOH last year?
I'll just cheat a little bit and mention a couple little ones because I didn't travel too much this past year, but there were like a lot of experiences that I remember throughout this year that stand out. Right off the bat, I went to PEI, and that was a big thing for me because for those who don't know, I moved to PEI before the pandemic, and just as COVID hit, I was there for maybe 2 or 3 months, ruined all my plans. I had to come right back to Nova Scotia. But I was going to be living on the island. So I had been living on the island for like 2 or 3 months and going to tournaments and, getting to know these guys and having all these battles. And so when I got to go back to PEI for the first time, it was like just hanging out with all the guys again, right? So it was super cool being able to kind of battle with those guys again. And everyone knows PEI guys are so friendly. So that was a good time. And so, I mean, some of the tournaments that I hosted at my place were just so damn fun because those 10-person tournaments that you just host out of your basement, they're so intimate and like just the stuff that comes up there, it's got a different energy, right? So just hanging out with people and really getting to know them like outside of the game. Like sometimes at tournaments we're spoiled. We can kind of pick and choose, our groups of people we like to hang out with, but sometimes you don't get to hang out with the new people, right? So I got to meet and hang out with these guys, and some of the tournaments I hosted, I kept on the down low. So some of them I called "Don't Get Trumped," and it was this drinking tournament I designed where every set that you won, you had to take a shot, and I put another whole layer onto it where there was cards that everyone got randomly that you could play on your opponent at any time to fuck them over. So it could be something crazy like, oh, you have to go your secondary, or you can't ban a stage all set kind of thing. So it was just some really, really wacky cards, and oh man, those tournaments were just crazy.
That's based as fuck, Rick. You're so cool. Oh my god.
I think we're gonna do that for the pub.
That actually
it's cool because the cards that I designed, there was probably like 30 or 40 that I designed, and it was so cool because you'd be sitting there with your cards about to play your set, and like there was another layer of strategy. It's like, okay, I got the game to play against this guy too, but then there's all the mental stuff too. It's like, I got this card where I can start the game with their shield broken. What do I have a good shield break punish, right? So it was cool. There was a whole bunch of... And of course, everyone's just blasted by the end, right? We're eating pizza, we're drinking. But no, that was super cool. And just this last week, actually, our last tournament here in Nova Scotia, before we take a little break, we're coming back in mid-January. But this past week, the last tournament of the year, we handed out our awards for end-of-year awards. And we had just such great energy. This past Sunday, we did for fun brackets. We did like random 5v5 squad strike and an all super heavies bracket. So just chaos ensued, of course. And we ended the day off with some crew battles as well. So we had 4 teams draft players, and we just had two little crew battles going on. We didn't have enough time for the winners of each crew battle to actually play another crew battle, but just the whole day, like the energy was so good, and just handing out the awards and stuff really kind of commemorate awarding like the people who worked so hard that year, and it was a good ass time. So there was a few that stuck out for me for sure.
That's awesome. And definitely last week you guys also had like, I think that was probably like your highest attendance I heard
for a long time. Yeah,
you guys had
had like 46 or 47 people, so we haven't had those kinds of numbers in probably like 3 months. So it was good to end the year off on that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And did you guys also reveal the PR at that event?
We did. So this is like something I've been beating myself up about for the last couple of days, but we were having some issues with stream that day, and we were just not able to kind of stream the awards ceremony itself. But what I did, I planned a video for at the very end of the awards, kind of just like a 3-minute like highlight tape of some like cool clips from the year and stuff, and that like highlight video immediately transitioned into our big reveal video, which was revealing the PR. And we had one of our guys, Disco Ghost, just do an incredible job like editing together this reveal video, and just the room just erupted. Like it got such a big pop off for it. And the video you can find it if you're in the Nova Scotia Discord. We do have it there, but it's also on the Nova Scotia YouTube, and that PR reveal video is it was crazy. So it was a lot of fun for sure.
Give me 2 seconds here, and I'll
just go. Holy shit.
Do you have any idea? Do you have a time frame of when we end? Or I'm just wondering because I might leave earlier, but I'm not sure.
Damn, Eric. I mean, we can go
Well,
for another 30 minutes. We got one more big thing kind of to talk about, or two more things.
Yeah. I'm
Realistically
just
talk
wondering
about.
if it's like okay,
30 minutes. 30
Fine.
minutes. 30
Yeah.
minutes. Come on.
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure.
Anyway, so we'll hop into like again, we kind of alluded to it earlier with talking about KOH 5, and that was the big tournament of Atlantic Canada of last year. It's always been. Hang on, I got a sub coming in. Anyway, thank you, L. Hanley. But Kings of Halley 5 was the big tournament last year. It was the one that brought everybody together. I mean, got to see Jack. Jack got to meet a lot of people he's never met before.
Yep.
Yo.
Which was crazy, especially like Melee. Like, I've been playing the Smash ladder, all the net play stuff since 2016 or so. So many people I've known since then. Like when I was in high school that I've been playing net play with, and I've never met until this year, which is crazy to think about.
Wow, damn.
Yeah, no, like it was super awesome to have everybody kind of come back together, because for the most part we haven't seen a lot of these guys since before the pandemic. Obviously, like Jack, you and Groovy are like oh my god, why can't I think of his name? The Falcon player. Jar, yeah. Like, you guys, stand out to me as, like, the guys from Newfoundland that I know. And then,
Jar beat me in bracket.
Yeah, get fucked, Cal.
Yeah, thanks.
But, like, just being able to see you guys again, like, Newfoundland as a whole is, like, we talked about it earlier, where it's $600 flight to go there for a weekend, and you got to fly out of Halifax. So if you're not from Halifax, you got to drive an extra like 2.5, 4 hours to get there, and whatnot. And to see you guys come out, not being able to see you guys after so long, it was super super great. Great atmosphere. The whole tournament was just it was very. The tournament atmosphere, I found it was like that high quality stage production, but the
Cole really does a good job of that.
But the tournament where the setups were for actually playing, it felt very grassrooted. I don't know if you guys if you guys get that vibe, but that's kind of what
by grassroots you mean by all over the place. 100%. I remember seeing the exact reason why. He had numbers set up to be put on the tables, and then somebody put a setup on top of the sheets that had all the numbers, and then he couldn't find them, and he had to just like go off using it. And I was like,
oh, man, that's
yeah,
that sucked, dog. Oh my god.
No, like I said, like KOH was awesome. Like, again, Cole had that sick ass production. Which honestly, like, I mean, they could have been a little bit better. I'm not, not to throw shade at those guys, but they definitely weren't prepared to do an esports-esque type of broadcast. It seemed definitely. I know Cole had said that it was like their first time doing it, so shout outs to them for
backroom and help them out with like deciding. Who are these players? And which sides are they going to be going on? What side would be good to like put this player to be looking at? This person on the like left side, right side, like what would look good? And I just did what I usually do whenever I do the Street Fighter and like Guilty Gear streams and stuff.
Yeah. And
they did it. They did pretty well after that, but like it took a while. It took somebody who knows, right?
Yeah.
But the setup they had was so cool. Oh my god. Oh, that shit's like what I dream about. Like, oh my god, I wish. Oh.
I wish that both Melee and Ultimate had the same sound that FGC had.
Melee
they had the TVs, but those TVs were those. I mean, in terms of the projection, it was the worst. But damn, did it ever fucking pump. I remember watching I remember watching Guilty Gear Saturday night. Oh my god, it was just just so much atmosphere, and like you could hear every hit and every time like someone opened up.
After they got the DJ out of there anyway, but
my god, yeah, fuck the DJ, man. Oh my god, trying to play doubles on Friday night was absolutely the worst. I remember Chris and I were just in the middle of our, like, I think it was like probably like our first or second double set, and then all of a sudden the DJ came on, and I'm like, what the fuck is this sound?
And the smoke machine in front of the screen and stuff, and you're like, what? I can't even see. What's going on? It was cool, but it was like, I don't know, rehearse it or something.
We should get.
I think the combination of how late doubles ran that night with the DJ. I remember me and Mr. Reezy, we were playing against Balo and Groovy, and just with how late it was in the evening, me and Balo, we were just vibing out to the music while we were playing. Like, our minds were not on the game anymore. We were just looking at each other, just vibing out to the music. The DJ was so damn loud, but we definitely fixed it up for the next 2 days. So
yeah, no, and that was probably like Friday was definitely like it was the growing pains of the tournament, right? Like,
I feel that
it was definitely like, if you had to rank the days, it was definitely like the worst day, like in quotation, but it was still a good day. Like I loved watching that grand finals in Ultimate Doubles, like Midnights and Joe versus Raz and Colin.
Let's go.
It was actually insane, the run that Midnights and Joe went on to do that, and to take out. Funny enough, for like the second year in a row, or second Kings of Halley in a row, doubles was won by an NB team, not NS. So it was, it was definitely it was crazy, and for it to come from those two, from that losers run after losing to like Double Me Brawler from Adra and St. Heavens.
St. Heavens, yeah.
So absolutely crazy run by them. But overall, like the tournament itself, like it had so much to do. It was, aside from parking, and Volt, I'm super, I am super thankful that you housed me and that you live maybe 20-minute walk from the venue, and we just parked my car.
So Volt, yeah.
But oh my god, it was in the perfect spot, like in terms of like easy access to a bunch of food. Pretty much, if you really wanted to, you could just go, like Friday. I think it was Friday night. There was like some outdoor concert going on. You could like walk down and like hang out, get some drinks or whatever. And then they had the bar. Wow. They had the bar on site as well, which was really nice. And then obviously the Red Bull folks. But
Red Bull being free at first, and then you have to pay like $8 for it, and then them like just passing it out all their extras afterwards was really weird. And, like,
it definitely.
I wasn't in charge of it. So,
yeah, it was definitely it was definitely something, but looking at the tournament run itself, like there was like the storylines going into Kings of Halley and the Ultimate side was like, hey, we had Shucky, who was the reigning king from Kings of Halley 4 in 2019. And then is he going to be able to defend his title? Because everyone was like, oh, Brian's going to, clean easily. He's the best player in AC, blah, blah, blah. He'll take it pretty easily. But then you also had like guys like Light, like Raz, Croy, Gronk.
Moo.
Well, Moo being the big X factor of the whole tournament, in my opinion.
Moo became like a sensation midday. It was insane. The crowd hype.
He did it the night before in the crew battle. He really set the tone with the crew battle.
Yeah.
Oh, that crew battle. Oh my god.
That crew battle was a lot closer than I expected. I wrote the what was it, the world like versus NS. I was like, NS got this fucking free. And then it was like last hit. If Ben had beat Moo, he would have cleared Reezy, I think. or whoever was the last guy for NS. I think.
Yeah, it was Reezy we had left.
Yeah, I think if Ben had cleared, but it was a lot very close. How like, you know. What I had said, I wrote it off. I was like, I'm not watching this, and I was like watching. I was like, damn, the boys are making a good run. Oh shit! Oh,
That's the best.
but no, like Moo was definitely the standout, the breakout star of Kings of Halley as a whole. Like I remember Cole was telling me when I did the interview with him, pre KOH5 or post whenever, and he had mentioned he's like, yeah, Moo was a last minute addition. Like he you know, he's like, I don't know if I can come, or like all this stuff. You know, he had all these factors against him, and
he literally registered like the hour that registration was closing because his ability to get there was so up in the air the whole time. And actually, one of our guys, Drag the Yoshi, he drove like an hour and a half down to the valley to get this kid and drove him all the way back up to Halifax. I guess housed him and everything and like arranged to get him back and everything. He went out of his way to get Moo there.
that's crazy.
Good
Just
Lord.
total stranger, never knew the guy, and he's just like, yeah, we'll get you here. We'll figure it out, right? And we're talking like 15 minutes to registration closing, and we just did it last minute. We were able to get him here, but almost didn't happen.
No, and like I said, going into it, he was the big X factor. He only had he had good Wi-Fi results, but like, you know, even just like locally, it's like, okay, like how does he fare against, you know, against Ben, against Brian, against these guys? And then,
well, if I recall correctly, the event that he entered for Theod, he lost to one of your boys, Vault, the Roy. I don't know his name.
Syed.
Yeah. Yeah, just like lost the game 5 with him, and it was really close. And Moo was like, I could have beat that guy, but we were all kind of like, hey, he got 4th. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then
And that was something that Adam cited when he was seeding him. It's like, yeah, we know he's getting all these crazy results, like, you know, at Bamboo Battles and all this, beating these really great players, but the 1 or 2 times that he entered like AC Wi-Fi, he got like, you know, 3rd, 4th kind of stuff, right? So it's like, what do we do with this, right? It was such a weird situation to be in, and I don't envy Adam at all for seeding him where he did in like that 9th or 10th spot. But no, kid is the real deal.
yeah, no, he went on a he went on a tear, and like he went on a tear, and then like had the whole crowd with him too, like everybody going moo like every time, and like, you know, he beat I'm pretty sure he double 3-0'd Troy. He at Kings of Halley. He took him out in winners and then took him out in losers. And then I think he 3-0'd Gronk as well.
Yeah, or maybe 3-1, but
3-0,
it was lopsided.
It was very like one-sided, really. It was and then like and then he took down Light, I think 3-1, and then just got double eliminated by Ben. And you know, Ben, I probably on a warpath after the crew battle, right? Like after that the ending of that. So I mean, it was absolutely crazy. There was so much to do. You know, the guys that, I mean, obviously we had a fuck ton of games. Like, you want to play Ultimate, you want to play Melee, you want to play, you know, Street Fighter, Tekken, Guilty Gear. It was like, you know, options galore. I know Mind Reader after he got eliminated early from bracket, he literally brought his Wii into
Mario Kart Wii.
Yep, brought Mario Kart Wii, had a bunch of guys and then playing it. You know, the guys from Game Over Cancer, they brought like all the retro setups, you know, crazy amount of, you know, retro games.
Whenever I wasn't on commentary, I was going dummy on that Dark Souls 1, don't you? No.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
I tried to speedrun Sonic 2, but But
Almost.
no, it was crazy. No, it was overall just a crazy fun tournament, and like Cole, every KOH since the inception, and I've been to every one of them. Every time, always steps up the bar, and I'm very excited to see what the next iteration brings. Hopefully, it doesn't fall on the same weekend as SmashCon. That was like,
Hopefully.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
apparently, well, actually, it's not apparently. It was there. Fucking Ontario was fucking fuming that we had it the same week, even though it was like announced months. Like,
Yeah, what do you mean?
Yeah, it's not Black
it-
Sheep or
It was
something.
one of those situations where there was just simply nothing else available, and it was just the best of what we had. Right? It's definitely not a favorable situation from the start. And Cole and everybody, we all knew that right from the start. But yeah,
yeah, no,
scheduling will definitely play a big part in next year, I'm sure.
yeah, no, and again, like, it's hard for us to get those guys to come over here. It's and it always feels like Gommel is like the only way to see the other Canadian scenes. It's like, go to Gommel, all right, try to get as much experience with the guys from the other province as you can, and then fuck off for a bit. No one comes to AC. We get left out on everything. We're not East Coast.
Oh man, did you see West Coast versus East Coast Canada,
Oh.
where it was all Ontario players and none of us got talked to?
Yeah.
To
be fair, all those players could probably wipe Art Best.
I mean, yeah, but you're not even gonna say anything. Not gonna be like, hey, do you want to be in this? You want to like do a qualifier, see if like any of you are better than any of our players.
It's a crew battle. It's really like
So,
it's
I
whatever.
know.
It's whatever. It's
man, it's like that one time NS put out a power ranking thing of Atlantic Canada, and the island of Prince Edward Island was just gone. It was just open.
And that really do be how it is.
I remember that. I remember seeing that. I've got that picture saved. It was really funny, and it's like it's been my motivation to get PEI as far as we can possibly go.
Cal, you're
like, man, we need a spotlight, don't we? Holy shit!
Yeah.
That's rough.
you're gonna have to share that picture with me. I gotta see it. I gotta see it sometime. But yeah, no, like KOH as a whole, like it it started from this tournament that was oversized, just crowded and packed into a game shop that had over 100 plus people for Smash 4 and Melee. And then it grew to KOH 2 and 3 were at DAL, and then KOH 4 was in the gym, I think the Rexton gym, I think it's what it's called. Yeah, and then KOH 5 was at that
Lighthouse Convention Center. I don't even remember.
I don't remember. All I remember was trying to find the place and looking over, and I seen Aaron just looking fucking dazed out of his mind. He's like, where am I? I was like, Aaron, hey man, what's up? Where the fuck are we? I don't know. I was like, okay, let's keep walking. But yeah, no, it was overall a fun event, and like I said, it's always a great time to see. Always a great time to see the guys. The gang as always, and hopefully, kind of leading into the last thing that we can quickly talk about and wrap it up is like what 2023 is going to bring. And I hope my kind of big goal is that we're able to get everybody together more than just at a Kings of Halley. I'm hoping, I'm hoping we can get, it's always seemed like for the last year in 2022, it's like NS was like not coming out to anything. They were staying home, and hopefully, that changes. We get to see them come out to like, T-LAN, a monthly event, whatever. Hopefully, get more people going to PEI for their monthlies. Like their monthlies, like always pop. I watch it. And I keep telling myself
We
that.
can schedule things like a little better, so we're not 2 days away from a New Brunswick event
Ideally-
every time.
we would,
Every time.
they do a lot of events, Cal. What can I say?
We both do a lot of events.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure that I get a car of boys all the way out there every time. I want to leave this island. It's a cage. I'm so sad. But
Listen.
I also want to get into Newfoundland because I've never been there. I've been there
Shut
one
up.
time for a gymnastics tournament. I got 4th in, and I saw my first iceberg, and people were jumping off of it. That's all. That's all I've been to Newfoundland for.
Shout out to PEI. I'm
Yeah.
into every single NB regionals we've hosted. You guys are amazing. It's
No.
great.
And we
Hey, before we like, because we only have like 10 minutes left, and I have no idea when else I'm gonna slot this in. I do want to shout out the fact that going into 2023, we have a lot more community support on PEI now.
Yes.
From a lot of our players who have been like backing up, because obviously here with the TOs, myself, Cal, Jose, Alex, Richard, like we are sort of like the ones that you hear the most about because we do most of the communicating. But like even just in running tournaments, Jeff, Maka spent like $500 to buy a second Switch and 2 monitors to bring to all of our events. He will go to events that he's not going to, drop off his Switch and monitors, leave, and come back to help with teardown at the end.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
And also, like, if I tell him to go pick up anyone from anywhere to bring them to a tournament, he will always do it. He picked up Vermilion without meeting him first. And also, we have, like, Jack, Drimbus Choo Choo, and Tanner, and Fawns. Declan K. Cool helps out with teardown a lot. Fawns and Drimbus are always around to help us tear down. They're always, like, I really want to, like, shout them out because they help us out all the time, and we never acknowledge them for it. We just have a lot of players. Mind Reader has been that for like 4 years. He's been our rock forever. If I ask most people on PEI for anything, they'll always like bring their best. But those are the ones in particular I wanted to shout out because I really, really appreciate the help that they get. Oh, and E-Man. E-Man helps us out all the time, and he's also just one of the boys.
I often say
Mwah, love you, Jack.
I don't
Mwah.
know how to tell people like how to help me, and E-Man comes over and he's like, "How can I help, Cal?" And I'm like, "I don't really know. I just sort of go along and get everything set up." But he's like, "Okay," and then just goes and does something, and I'm like, "Wow!"
Jeff learned
crazy.
stage modding to make us a custom
The
Pokemon
custom
Stadium too.
stage, so we could be somewhat as cool as NB.
I hate that stage. I hate the La
love
Hub
it.
stage. I fucking hate it. Sorry, Eric. I gotta interject because I hate mods. I hate visual mods. And I said this to Eric when he first showed it to me. I said, this sucks for me because I use that damn Pokeball on Stadium to track my C4. I can't. I gotta now. I gotta figure out like the. Now I gotta figure out the fucking. I gotta go like the like 2% of the U. I gotta put that. I gotta put that in there. And like again, like going from that, and then going to just regular PS2 on like on another setup. It's just it throws me off, and that's just me.
How about you learn? How
Shout out
about
to all
that?
my narcs who hate fun. Let's go, baby.
All cops are bastards. I do not fist bump the authorities after the set. It's not happening.
If you want, I'm sure we can find a way that we can go back to non-modded stage for players who want to. Like, if you don't,
You
want
can
to
turn it off. It's in the menu.
Oh yeah, no. You can turn off any amount of mods that you want. There's like a file with like checkboxes, and you can turn them all off. Or
Yeah,
you can
if
turn
it's
some-
something that's quick, we can learn how to do it and just do it for you every time you play. On
I'll
stream.
just plop my Switch in. I'll just plop my Switch in.
Swap it out.
Just,
yeah.
Just ask Morgan. He does it like every time he comes to an event.
Anyway, that's my
While we're on the topic of stream, I'll just kind of wrap it up with NS and as far as transitioning. We recently made a bunch of upgrades to our stream PC. We put a lot of the community funds towards upgrading our PC, so we're running at 60 frames per second now, and we've got a brand new layout for our Twitch, so the stream's looking clean. We've boosted up our commentary. Now we have like a little commentary area now too. So We were
Yeah,
definitely lacking behind in stream, and the last like 2 or 3 weeks, like so many guys have been working really hard, just on little bits and pieces, and it's finally all together. So we're super excited for 2023 and just how clean the stream's gonna look.
We got new logos made by
We got-
Orzenik. I forgot to shout out Orzenik.
I love
He
Arzak.
made us new logos for free, and they're so good. I'm sorry, that's all.
Without
I'm
even
done.
asking. Like, I was like, man, this would be cool, and he'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll see you next week. What?
Pride of
what?
Mexico. Anyway, everyone else can talk. I just want to shout him out this week.
Yeah. Eric, Jack, you guys got anything that you guys are looking forward to for 2023?
Yeah, we got some bigger tournaments.
Kings of Valley. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we got St. John's 9, which doesn't actually have a date, but it's gonna be September-ish.
Can it not be
Hopefully we
during
can-
hurricane season?
Hopefully no hurricanes. Hopefully no COVID. I'm hoping to get, like, I've already had a bunch of people say that they want to come out if it's reasonable. A lot of Melee, a lot of Ultimate, which I hope comes true because we had out like Petra, Legs, Mar, Bongos, a couple of guys, and just having like 7-8 people visit was awesome. So I think if we could get more than that,
A spot on
it'd be
commentary.
really cool. I can definitely get you a spot on commentary.
I'll be there.
Sounds good. I'll let you know when I have a date.
Hell yeah.
And then Kings of Halley, I want to go again, hopefully, depending on when it is. And I hope we get some more people go, because I think this year was kind of a weird date for NL. Everyone was
Yeah, I
like,
missed
in
mine.
exams, and like only a couple of us could make it out. But hopefully, 2023, we can have a number of guys make it out, because I thought it was really fun, and I think a lot of people would enjoy it.
Yeah, I missed it. I worked. I was so sad. I really, really want to make it this year.
Eric, what about you? Close us out, bud.
T-Land 2023, I'm very excited, and obviously Kings of Halley is just getting better. And Kings of Halley is like, is that a word? Epiphany? Like it's like the culmination. It's all the AC talent goes there, and it's like, you know. And I'm hoping Kings of Halley or T-Land can attract people from out of Atlantic Canada who can have enough like interest in some players to actually coming down to our little region in Atlantic Canada. That'd be great, because I feel like we have the potential. We're actually like, we have a lot of good talent. So I'm hoping this year's the year that we can actually show that to the, maybe not the world, but at least like Quebec and maybe Ontario. Like,
Don't
I'm
downplay
working-
yourself, Eric. You're the best of all of us.
well, I'm trying to
You're
connect.
so good.
Like,
Don't.
I actually messaged Z today, and he's interested. We might have Z and like a crew from Quebec coming to Tomorrowland 2023.
That's something for sure that I'm focusing on as far as marketing and everything for Kings of Halley is definitely bumping up those top player reps. And I mentioned this
Yeah.
last year when it was on the same date as SmashCon, but if we can just be a standout tournament on a weekend where nothing else is going on in Canada, I see no reason why we can't have a lot of those top Canadian players come out. So
Yeah, and it's hard because there's so many like majors happening all over like the world all the time. This year was crazy. Like there's a major to watch or 2 or 3 every weekend. Like you can just
Yeah.
tune in to Twitch
We're
and
a
see
bit
good.
spoiled.
Yeah.
Oh, we were
Well,
crazy
Kings of
spoiled.
Halley is already the Atlantic Canada event. It just needs to be a little bit louder. Just
a
reach the mainland. You're almost
It's-
there.
Almost
Yeah.
there.
It's like the Battle of BC, but for Atlantic Canada.
100%. That's a perfect comparison, actually.
All right, guys, that kind of wraps up the roundtable discussion. And I first off, I want to thank you guys for taking a couple hours out of your Wednesday night, come in and sit talk about stuff. I think overall, aside from the start of 2022 where COVID fucked us all up, I think we bounced back pretty good. I think overall, I think AC as a whole is in a very, very good place going into 2023, and I think it's just only going to go up. So
Yeah, agreed.
I agree.
a lot of momentum.
So I think we got to keep riding that. Got to keep riding that momentum. Got to keep riding the highs. Take out all the kinks as normal, and we're gonna be there for we're gonna be there for the end there. So
Yeah, buddy.
anyway, guys, yeah, like I said,
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Not Jack. Sorry.
Not Jack.
Get well soon.
Get well soon, hospital man.
yeah.
This is just a personal thing, but I'm going to Frosty Faustings in 2023 in February, and I signed up for commentary.
Yeah.
So you might hear my voice on like either Ultimate or Gear or Street Fighter. Who knows? Whatever they
Nice.
pick me for. Hopefully it's not Tekken, because that's my weakest game. So in Chicago, I'm going to be going all the way down to the States to try and do that.
That's awesome,
Damn,
Cal.
man.
So,
All right.
and I think you
There's a lot of money.
and if you
Very broke now.
and if you hopefully hopefully you do get it, because again, you're one of the best, one of the best guys in AC that commentate. Always appreciate that you're willing to step up. Willing to appreciate that you're always going to step up, and you'll literally come to one of our events and just sit on the mic all day, and you know what? I love it, because we got no guys.
I love you, famous.
We got no guys who will sit there and
You
like.
got killer.
Oh yeah, we got Ian now, but I'm saying before, like you.
Oh yeah.
Finding commentators. I'm like headhunting at like for a top 8, like for like one of our big events. I'm like, hey, you're all right. You can talk. Get in there. And then it's like, okay, shit. You're not there. Okay, I guess I gotta go in and sub. But
How it always ends up, isn't it?
Yeah. Before Ian and Cal like was hard, we had to find people all the time. And I would literally chase people in the venue and be like, "Do you want to commentate?" He's like, "Nah." I was like, "Come
Got a
on."
lasso, just get over here.
So to me and Jeff commentating Rands at the last monthly for Street Fighter.
Yeah, sorry, I was really salty. I wanted to walk around for a bit.
That's probably unwatchable. Neither of us play that game.
Got
but
the radio voice. Don't worry, I'm going to be announcing WrestleMania next week. Don't worry.
Potter just started.
I remember one time somebody's like, "Man, I was on one of Alex's stream, Mr. AJC, and it was, wow, somebody's got some ASMR melee commentary. I didn't know this was a thing." And I was like, I wasn't trying to do that, but thanks anyway. But
Anyway, 5 minutes of hyping up Cal later.
Woo!
What are we ending the stream with, Keith?
that's what I live with.
all right, guys. Like I said, appreciate you guys coming on. One final thing I'm gonna mention, just for the NB guys, Friday 8:30, we're doing the PR reveal here. So we've got it all finalized. The graphic is done. I say done. I have to double check, as Bernie is pointing out in the chat here. But get excited. We're gonna, it's been a long time coming. We haven't had one since 2020, since COVID hit, and I'm actually, for once, I'm actually excited for a PR. Usually I dread it, run from it. But no, I'm pretty excited for this, and hopefully, we'll get a good turnout for that. And Light's already hyping up a watch party at Green Door. So if there's one reason I can't go to Green Door this week, this is the one reason.
Oh, okay, all right.
But
Stream it
All right.
there.
stream it there, yeah. Let me lug my PC there.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm right here. I bring that full ass desktop tower every week.
Yeah, but I don't want to. I'm very anal on my setup. I don't want to take it apart. Anyway, guys. Again, guys, I appreciate everybody. Tuning in, hanging out. We had, we were averaging about 40 viewers at one point, which is like actually, it's. I think it's my biggest stream this year. Probably missed out on I don't think Twitch recap auto updates itself, but hey. Whatever. Appreciate you guys coming out. Obviously, Stockyard's going to take a little bit of a Christmas hiatus. There's not much going on in terms of events. You guys come out to Port City Smash. It's the only event in NB that's running during the holidays. So, you guys can do that. But other than that, I'll be live again on Friday with the NB PR reveal. And then Saturday is Famous and Friends. So that will be streamed here as well. So appreciate you guys coming out, and always love the support, and we'll talk soon. Happy holidays, guys, and
Happy holidays.
Good talking
See you
to
guys.
you. Vault and Jack.
And Jack,
Have a good night.
and Paul, and Sherlock.
A good one, everyone.
Oh, and that does it for me. Hey, Rox, you want to say bye to the people? You want to say goodbye, doggy? You want to say goodbye to the people? Hello, Rox. Yes, you probably have to pee. Sit. Sit. Paw. Yeah. Shake. Yeah. All right, guys. Like I said, thank you guys for coming out. Does Twitch still host? Is there still a host option? Did they get rid of that? I haven't done a hosting in a while. But yeah. Appreciate the yes, you will meet Rox at Famous and Friends. Anyone who comes to Famous and Friends, you get to hang out with Rox and Dale. The boys will be here. Anyway, you guys have a good night, and go hang out with my boy Magic Boy 16 from Quebec. He's streaming some Ultimate. Rox, I know, buddy. I know. Anyway. See ya.